From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Give us a call. The number is 208-991-4783, and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/radio detectives. Well, welcome to our listener support campaign. We've been doing this every 6 months since last year. This is our third one. As we during the time before economy went bad, on not only Great Detectives but Old Time Dragnet, we were able to do some advertising campaigns, but we've not been able to do that since. So we came up with the listener support campaign, where listeners can help support our efforts. I've mentioned before that, we've talked about that there are a lot of different things I would love to do with old time radio. We do quite a bit, but we'd always like to be able to more, but a lot of that's going to be determined on the financial situation. So your support helps us be able to focus more on radio and to kind of focus on those things that really are our passions and interests, including old-time radio. So thanks so much for that. I do want to let you know, we encourage you to, if you can, go to support.greatdetectives.net. As usual with all donations of $7 or more, we will send access to our premium site. And at the $20 level, we send along an additional gift of your choice. And we have quite a few. At the $20 level, you can receive a Father Brown radio program, or a Perry Mason program, or an entire season of radio programs of the Powder River radio series, Powder River Season 1. And you can view all the options available at support.greatdetectives.net. I do want to begin by thanking Michael Galea for sending along a donation to get us started off. Thanks so much for your support, Michael. And now it's time for today's episode of Frank Race. This one is called The Adventure of 17 Black.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins. The war changed many things, the face of the earth and the people on it. Before the war, Frank Race worked as an attorney, but he traded his law books for the cloak and dagger of the OSS. And when it was over, his former life was over, too. Adventure had become his business. The Adventures of Frank Race. And now we join Frank Race for The Adventure of 17 Black.
Saratoga, city of sport and health. where you can watch the thoroughbreds come thundering into the stretch or increase your physical efficiency with its spring water and sunshine. But my sport of the moment wasn't taking place in the sunshine. And I'm afraid the healthful effect of its atmosphere was rather dubious.
Number 17, Black. Now you're coming up, Mr. Race.
Yeah, it's about time after what I've dropped here tonight. I'll let that ride again.
Aha! At last I find you.
Oh, hello, Mark. Thought you were in New York.
Place your bets, please.
I was sent up here to find you. We gotta get going. Come on.
What's your hurry? I'm busy.
You're gonna be busy. You got a hasty task for universal indemnity. The embezzlement job, and they want you right now.
Number 17, Black. Looks like you're in the groove, Mr. Race.
I've got luck on my shoulder. Leave it right there, Eddie. I'm letting it ride.
Oh, no, we ain't, Eddie. Push it this way. We are heading for New York.
Yeah, but, Mark, I'm just beginning to win.
You ain't gonna win by leaving it there. Let's blow. This is important.
Place your bets, please.
Well, suppose you're right. Come on.
Certainly I'm right. Nobody can keep playing one number on that thing. It just ain't in the books.
Yeah, hold it a second.
17, Black.
You see what I tell? Hey, you won again.
Yeah, I would have won. You hadn't picked up the bet.
Hey, look, maybe we ought to go back and play that thing for a while, huh? You're hot.
Come on, Mark. We're heading for New York. Who talked to you from the insurance company, Reed?
Yeah, Chester A. Reed. I told him you wanted a little time to yourself, but he said I was to get you anyway. He told me all about it, see, so I could brief you.
What's the story?
Some guy keeping books for a construction outfit took 70 G's of the company's money. He was bonded with Universal.
Reed wants me to go after him,
No, not the guy. He's dead. Suicide. Reed wants you should see if you can find the dough.
huh? At Universal Indemnity, I ain't got the details. The alleged embezzler had been a man named O'Connor with a home in Yonkers. I had Mark drive me over there to see his wife.
What's the use of talking about it? Johnny's dead. After a while, I suppose I'll be able to tell myself I've still got a baby.
Baby?
He's a year old.
How you fix money?
I've got the rent for another month. Got some ground meat for supper. Guess I'll have to get a job pretty soon.
Didn't your husband have insurance?
$8,000 worth. But we'll never get any of it. Not if they call him suicide.
Oh, that should have occurred to me. How did he die, Mrs. O'Connor?
He was found in the garage. Shot in the car. Carbon monoxide.
I see.
They'll never convince me that he committed suicide. Not Johnny. He enjoyed life too much. Why, he was right in the middle of making a crib for the baby. And if he stole that money, where is it?
I understand there was a confession.
A fake. Even if it is in Johnny's handwriting. Here it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm taking the only way out. When they audit my records, they'll find I've misappropriated $70,000. Try to forgive me, Johnny.
He never took that money.
Well, possibly not, but it's missing. And your husband is dead. If we're going to prove him innocent, you'll have to help me.
Oh, I'll do anything.
Did your husband have any friends in the company or particular enemies?
Irving Dalton, the chief accountant. He always treated Johnny like a laborer. See, Johnny used to carry a hod, but when the baby was coming, he took a night school course in bookkeeping to better himself.
Did Dalton hire your husband?
No. T.J. Thomas does the hiring. He's general manager.
Does Thomas have a financial interest in the company?
I think he owns a third. The rest of it belongs to Mr. and Mrs. Maynard.
Well, possibly Mr. Thomas can help a little. I'll see him tomorrow. In the meantime, take this.
Oh, no. I couldn't.
We'll call it alone. You've got that youngster to think about. And for the time being, stay with your baby and forget about getting a job. Take me back to the city, Mark.
What's cooking?
Know anything about a family named Maynard?
Ah, certainly a hard bunch to get along with. The old man's a retired cement finisher. See, the boys, they don't believe in labor of any kind.
No, you're working in the wrong neighborhood. The matters I refer to are the big-time contractors.
Oh, big shots. No, I know. Hey, Race.
What is it?
That sedan behind us. What's that they're waving out the window? It's a Tommy gun.
Right. You better do some twisting. They're waving it at us.
I want to best I can. You got a gun?
In my hand. But against that firepower...
He's cannon on me, Race. We're going to get it. Race, you okay?
Let me get my arm free.
Let me help.
He's coming up with that machine gun.
He's lining us up, Race. He's going to... You got him. The other guy's running.
Watch out. I didn't kill that one. Just hit him in the leg.
Yeah, but he lost the chatterbox. We're okay. Yeah. Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Easy now. Take it easy. What kind of a deal is this anyway?
Looks like a lethal deal, Mark. Somebody's playing for big keeps. You didn't go to an ordinary lumber yard to find the offices of the Maynard Construction Company. They took up half the 14th floor of a skyscraper. I was impressed by the handsome paneling, the ancestral portraits, and the cocktail party that was going on. Well, the place was rocking. It was only after quite a bit of elbow fencing I was able to force my way to a waiter. He promised to locate T.J. Thomas for me, but it was at least 15 minutes before I got a reaction.
Mr. Race?
That's right.
I'm Irving Dalton, chief accountant for the firm. You've been moving around so you're a little dazed. You didn't come here on business, I hope, not this afternoon.
What are you celebrating? Lifting of a mortgage?
Just a little party in honor of State Senator Humphreys.
All this for a state senator? What would you do for a governor?
I understand you want to see Mr. Thomas.
Yes, T.J. Thomas. General manager, isn't he?
That's correct, but you see...
And it says general manager on this door.
It also says private, Mr. Race, if you don't mind...
It's a long elevator ride up here. I'd like to conclude my business this time.
So, if you ask me, I don't think it's a good idea.
Really, darling, no one asked you.
Hold it a second. If you don't mind, this is rather private. Sort of board meeting.
No, I don't mind at all. I'm most anxious to talk to the board.
Now, wait a minute.
My name's Race. I represent the Universal Indemnity Company. I'm here concerning the claim on your bookkeeper, O'Connor.
Oh. Well, in that case...
Come right in, Mr. Race. I'm Sandra Maynard. This is Mr. Thomas, our general manager, and my husband, Arthur Maynard.
What do you want to know, Race?
Several things. But first, I'd like to express a personal opinion. Your bookkeeper didn't steal anything, and he didn't commit suicide. He was murdered.
Dear me. Headlines. Headlines. Sandra, my darling, your Welfare League group will buzz about this one.
Oh, Arthur, shut up.
This is very interesting. Are you ready to prove that someone else misappropriated the money, Mr. Race?
Not yet. But that much money doesn't just disappear.
There's an outright case of embezzlement. The books speak for themselves.
I should think so.
Oh, of course. You know all about the records, don't you, darling?
I don't know what keeps me from clawing your face off. And I'm warning you, Arthur, if you don't stop...
Witnessing marital Donna Brooks has never been to my liking, so I eased out of the room. And bumped into as delectable a bit of fabric as I'd encountered in several days. A tawny blonde with a benign eye.
You look sort of grim.
You know those people in there?
Sandra and Arthur Maynard? I'm sure I know them.
What's the pitch on the relationship?
You sound like someone sent out to watch the silver.
And I've run into a defendant of the family honor.
Oh, not me. I know them, but I don't play in their yard. And never will.
They don't get along. It's embarrassing.
Well, that's because they're going to be divorced. He used to be her teacher at college. I guess they never straightened it out.
Make quite a clatter out of it, don't they?
This whole party has turned into a clatter. I think I'll go home. You care to come along?
Most encouraging invitation I've had in weeks. Lead on, fair lady. Lead on.
What's the matter with that cab driver back there? Sounded like he was putting up quite a squawk.
Mark? No, he's a very unreasonable fellow. Must because he waited half an hour for me, he felt he should drive us to your apartment.
When I've got my own car. You must be nuts.
Yeah, it's a night to send anybody by me, Doris. Full moon, sky full of stars. Perfect night for romance. Or murder.
What makes you say that?
Just a thought. Do you, always carry so much luggage in your car?
I'm a nightclub singer. I'm going away for an engagement.
Oh, too bad.
Well, come with me.
What'd I do, push your piano around?
Ray.
Yeah, maybe I should come along and push your piano around.
Come inside. Hold me, Race.
Delighted. But first, let's have a little light.
What are you doing?
Removing this pistol from your purse. What is it? Part of the new look?
Oh, Race, don't be like that. I'll go for you if you let me. I might even postpone going away.
How would you like to talk about a man named Johnny O'Connor and $70,000?
I might. There's something that might interest you in the bottom drawer of that bureau.
Oh, seems to be stuck.
So are you, sucker. Nice work, Doris. Now we can get rid of this chump for good.
We'll return to the adventures of Frank Race in just about 1 minute. And now, back to the adventures of Frank Race.
I came alive regretfully. The hazy conviction that my head had grown at least double and was still trying to expand. I told myself irritably this was no procedure for establishing Johnny O'Connor's innocence, nor securing his insurance for his wife and child. Then I caught voices, and I knew my best bet would be to play dead.
Any sign of life back there, Rocky?
Nah, he's out cold.
Better take a look and see if he's coming to.
Relax. Will you? When I slug them, they stay out for hours.
Well, flash a light on him and make sure.
Okay. Out cold as a mackerel.
Good. Here's the top of the hill.
You, want them up front, don't you?
Yeah, right behind the wheel. Here, give me a hand.
All right. Oh, this guy's big.
He's hard to lift, all right. Let's give another heave. Yeah. That's good. Now pour the liquor over it.
This ain't no new idea, you know. It's got to be done right or the cops get hep.
That's good enough. Now put the car in high.
I want to stay. Watch it go through that guardrail on the curb.
Nothing doing. We're getting out of here.
All set.
Okay, then let it go.
I said to grab the wheel. The lurch of the car pulled me, threw me sideways in the seat. I tried getting up, but the reflexes were off. That curve. I had to get control. If I didn't... Don't ever do that to yourself. I just sat there for a few seconds. Then I staggered to a phone booth and asked Mark to come out and meet me.
All I can say is it was your own fault. If I'd have been tagging along, it probably never would have even happened. I warn yous about that dame.
Well, she's very attractive, Mark. In spite of what occurred, I shall continue to think of her wistfully.
Nah, she had a look. You know me, I never miss on dames.
I agree.
As the poet says, they're the most dangerous species.
Most dangerous of the species, Mark.
You take it from me, they ain't of anything. When it comes to working angles, dames are all by themselves. What are we gonna do with this car?
Take it back.
It ain't cracked up as much as my cab was. Ain't a bad car at all. Whose is it?
The registration says it belongs to Thomas and Humphreys. Used car sales.
That's where we're taking it? At midnight? The joint will be shut tight in Atlantic City in December.
Well, let's get inside.
You know something? They could call this breaking and enter.
Do you mind?
Not so long as the cause is just. They need a new door here. You want my flashlight?
Yeah, street light's enough. You take that filing cabinet and see if you can find any papers on the car. I'll try the desk.
Okay. How do they file these things? By license number, make a car, what? I ain't having no luck here.
Never mind. Take a look at this.
What do you got?
Here's a registration application for the car. Made out in my name. According to this, I own it.
Then unload it as soon as you can. It needs new rings and a rebore.
A tight little arrangement.
Look, I don't get it.
I do. If I'd been killed tonight, Mark, this slip would have been mailed to the Motor Vehicle Bureau in the morning. It would have covered my accident very nicely.
Uh-oh. Looks like you're up against tough pitching, right?
And there's more to this than just the missing $70,000. I wonder if I could squeeze any information out of Sandra Maynard.
Squeeze another time? In this case, chum, that ain't good.
Well, you're wrong, Marcus. In this case, it ain't bad. The home of Sandra Maynard turned out to be one of those structures that a locksmith and a couple of carpenters could turn into a hotel over a weekend. The lady of the house greeted me in a sequence, something that gave almost as much flash as she did. I instantly recognized one quality in her that I tabbed as dynamite. While you were with her, she'd make you forget all the other women you'd ever known.
After our scrambled meeting last night, this is rather unexpected. But it's nice. Cigarette?
Thanks.
There'll be drinks along the moment. Manhattans and martinis. I'm sure you must like one or the other.
There have been occasions when I've gone for both, to my eventual distress.
You're attractive, Race. Then I suppose you already know that.
You're rather direct, Mrs. Maynard. And I'm sure you make good use of the trait.
It saves time. Oh, don't say Mrs. Maynard. I hate the name. Call me Sandra. Everyone does. Even my chauffeur.
I'm flattered.
I wonder. Have I stepped off on the wrong foot?
With your facade, why worry?
Suddenly I do find myself worrying. Do you mind if I try to impress you, Race?
I think I'd enjoy it.
Why did you come to see me?
To talk business.
Can't it wait?
I don't think it should.
Race, I have a feeling that you might be crusading.
Did you know Johnny O'Connor?
Do I look the type to know anything about a construction company? I inherited the thing from my father. I care so little about it, I've given my husband a quarter interest to get rid of him. What about your Johnny O'Connor?
He was the bookkeeper who was supposed to have committed suicide after embezzling $70,000.
And you don't think he did? Either one?
Well, it seems that he handled the expense accounts for the firm. Entertainment bills, items like that.
I don't get the significance.
The state's attorney general has been asking for funds from the legislature to investigate contracted bids for public works. Been complaints that your company's had inside information on supposedly sealed bids. So a lot of expense vouchers in your office became too hot to hold. Expense vouchers that might have been linked with the bribing of public officials.
Oh. What does all this have to do with that bookkeeper?
Well, shall we say that with all those vouchers missing, say, $70,000 worth, O'Connor would be the patsy with nothing to back up the entries in his books. Especially if he weren't around to offer excuses.
I'm afraid you've lost me, Race. I let Thomas run the company.
And you know nothing about this?
Nothing. But I do know one thing.
What's that?
I'm glad you came into the picture.
Thanks. I'm gratified.
Oh, stop looking at your watch. You don't have to rush off, Ray.
No, it's getting late, and I've another call to make.
On another woman?
On your chief accountant, Irving Dalton.
I want to see you again. If you'd care for my case history, I'm 26 and rather wealthy. In about 60 days, I shall no longer be encumbered with a husband.
An interesting deposition. Don't worry. You'll never be lonely.
There's nobody home, Race.
Should be. This hour.
Yeah, why don't you try to knock?
Nothing like the direct approach. Should have learned that earlier this evening from Sandra Maynard.
There's got to be a light switch here somewhere. That's better. Now it. Hey, Race.
Yes. It's Dalton.
Look at his throat. Somebody must have choked the wadding at him.
He must have been showing signs of weakening.
Let's get going, huh?
No, let's look around.
Uh-oh.
Open the door, but keep behind it.
Okay.
Didn't know if it'd find you awake, Dalton.
Take a better look, Thomas. You'll notice he isn't awake.
Say, what is this?
Well, I know some inquisitive gentlemen who'd call it homicide. Where do you think you're going?
I'm getting out of here.
Not yet.
I had nothing to do with this.
Possibly not. But I have a hunch we can tie you in with Johnny O'Connor's murder.
I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, then you know it wasn't a suicide.
No,
Mark, dial the Homicide Bureau.
Now, wait a minute. Why can't we sort of talk this over?
We can. Why don't you start in?
In the first place...
Race, look outside the window!
There were lights still on the home of Sandra Maynard. I told Mark to drift around the grounds, keep his eyes open, and then I rang the bell. The butler, appearing in a robe, insisted that his mistress had retired. I had him take me to her bedroom suite where we found her still up. She dismissed the butler.
You mind if I go on brushing my hair, Race?
Not at all.
Doesn't disconcert you?
You know very well it disconcerts me, but at the moment there's something else.
What else, Race?
I just came from Dalton's apartment. He's dead.
Wait.
And so is T.J. Thomas, your general manager. Dalton was strangled. Thomas was shot.
Race, you're not serious. Who could have done it?
The police might think you did.
I? Race, you're kidding. You don't think I did it, do you?
The person who killed Dalton had the strength of a man. Do you have a pistol?
Pistol?
Have you ever had one?
Yes. Yes, of course, but my husband's had it for some time.
You can prove that?
Well, I think so. The butler knows that Arthur has had it.
But the permit was issued in your name.
Yes, it was, but...
There's a bullet in Dalton's apartment. The bullet that killed Thomas. The police are going to find it. When they check it in ballistics, your butler's testimony isn't going to be much good if they find that gun here in your room.
But I told you I don't have the gun.
I have a feeling that your husband is going to plant it here.
Oh, Race, I'm all upset. Why would he do that?
First, to cover himself. When you gave him that interest in the firm, he decided to make it pay off in a big way. He got Thomas and Dalton on the hook, and they started the bribery pattern for big profits. But you're the principal owner, so he's going to try to tag you with the guilt. Another thing. If you were to be executed for murder, he'd get another big chunk of your estate, since he's still your husband.
Race, what am I going to do?
Well, we can wait for him. Then, when he gets here...
I'm already here, Miss Race. What's the matter, my darling? Lost your poise? Emulate Mr. Race. He's quite controlled.
That your gun he's holding, Sandra?
Yes, that's it.
You've caused me a great deal of trouble, Mr. Race. The obvious suicide of O'Connor satisfied the police. Why didn't it satisfy you?
Johnny O'Connor didn't have your educational background, Maynard. He'd never have used a word such as misappropriated. Not even in a suicide note. He used the same word when I interrupted that office meeting. Even Thomas was satisfied with embezzled.
You smelled murder in one word?
2 words. It was a simpler one. O'Connor would have said books. Thomas called them books. You used records. The note said records.
I admire superior intelligence, Mr. Race, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to dispose of you.
Be a bit involved, won't it?
Not at all. You came here to charge Sandra with crimes. She shoots you with the same gun that killed Thomas. Her gun, as you pointed out. She then commits suicide. Mr. Race, stop looking behind me as though there was someone there.
Ah, but there is.
I'll take care of Race.
Yeah. I tell you, Race, you just can't beat an end wrench in a pinch. All you need is the right guy to flip it.
Marcus, never have I been so happy to see your ugly face.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins with Tony Barrett as Mark Donovan, came to you from Hollywood. The series is written and directed by Joel Murcott and Buckley Angel. The music is composed and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again this time 1 week from today for another dramatic chapter in The Adventures of Frank Race. Art Gilmore speaking. This is a Bruce Ells production.
Welcome back. Well, that Mark Donovan certainly is a handy sidekick to have around. Probably one of my favorites, just in terms of pure ability and handiness in the clutch. Right up there, perhaps in that category, even above Brooksy, but clearly just one of the best all-around sidekick characters. Another compelling story, and one thing you do appreciate is how, when Race gets into this case, he definitely approaches it with a lot of heart, and does tend to, as they say, perhaps crusade a little bit, but I think that does make him appealing and in that spirit of World War II. It was odd with this episode that it was named The Adventure of 17 Black, when the wheel did not have anything to do with the actual adventure. The actual adventure centered, of course, on something else. So it was an interesting title. You would have expected something at a casino. Then again, I guess you would have been wrong. All right, well, day 2 of the listener support campaign continues tomorrow with Leonidas Witherall. Be sure to join us then. While we begin our second day of our listener support campaign, I do want to let you know you can go to support.greatdetectives.net to support the show, and you can send a donation by PayPal. If you email me at box13@greatdetectives.net, we can also do donations by mail. And if you are a Bank of America or Wells Fargo customer, you can send a donation to us using the send and receive service and the email box13@greatdetectives.net. And that saves us a little bit on the processing charges that PayPal does on donations we process through them. As usual, all donations of $7 or more receive access to our premium site. Donations of $20 or more will also receive a free electronic copy of All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo, and a choice of one other gift. I want to mention a couple of new items I've added at the $100 level. The first is The History of Harry Nile, Set 1. Set 1 contains 23 episodes of Harry Nile. Harry Nile began productions in the 1970s, but the stories are set in the 1940s and 50s, and written expertly by Jim French, who uses his knowledge of the era to create authentic stories. You get 23 great episodes, including the premiere episode, West for My Health, and that is available for all donations of $100 or more, and there's other options, and I'll talk about those on other days, but let's go ahead and take a listen to today's episode of Leonidas Witherall, the State Fair murder case.
All right, mister, you're paid your quarter. There's the rifle. Take your shot.
Stop! Put down that gun.
What's wrong, lady?
Well, look, behind the target he's shooting at. Running down the side of the wall. See it? That's blood.
Well, there's a dead body behind that target. Police! Murder!
WOR Mutual presents the distinguished American actor Walter Hampden in The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall.
Witherall's always getting mixed up in murder.
You wouldn't think so. He looks just like Shakespeare.
It's his beard, and he's the head of an important school for boys in New England.
He also writes the thriller stories on the side, the Lieutenant Hazeltine stories.
But Leonidas is engaged in much more vital business now, isn't he, Mr. Hampden?
Yes. Business that takes precedence over all of Leonidas's regular activities. The neighborhood housekeeper in Dalton, Witherall's close friend, Mrs. Mullet, has entered a contest to determine who makes the finest preserves in the state. The contest is a feature of the annual state fair, and Witherall has borrowed a horse and buggy, in which he's now heading for the fair. Get up there, girl. Mrs. Mullet, you should have no difficulty at all in winning this contest. As something of an epicure, I can say your preserves are perfect.
Well, I'm going to have mighty hard competition, though, Mr. Witherall. That Mrs. Axelbent's not easy to please.
Mrs. Axelbent?
Mm-hmm. She's going to be the judge. Going to taste all the entries. Very uppity she is. Might not like my preserves at all.
Prefers axle grease, perhaps.
Well, don't you know Mrs. Axelbent?
Yes, I met her once. Her face is familiar, but her name is impossible.
She's a divorcee, you know.
Oh?
She was married to that farmer in Berry County, Mr. Axelbent. Now she's going to marry the wealthiest farmer in the county, a Mr. Fribbits.
Axelbent, Fribbits. For a moment, I thought she was making a change for a better name. Wrong again. Come on there, gal. Get up. Go on.
She divorced him about 2 years ago. They say he never got over it either. Still very jealous. And he used to be very pleasant. Now he's gloomy all the time.
Rufus, I haven't time to talk to you now. Come and see me some other day.
You're always too busy to talk to me.
Oh, don't be tiresome, dear. Now, I really must go. I'm due at the state fair. I'm to be a judge.
Well, I'm going to prepare myself, entering a prize bull. Before you get out of here, I have something to say. Mullet, Mary Fribbits, I won't let you.
Rufus, we've been legally divorced. And it's so painful to go over all of our differences again. I've told you before, you're the most insanely jealous man on earth. That's why I divorced you. That's why you're behaving now like a hopeless fool.
You made me jealous, playing up to every fellow we met.
Oh, you imagined all that. Why upset yourself?
You don't love Fribbits any more than you love me. He's the wealthiest farmer in the state. That's what you're after.
Now, that's very unfair. You've no idea of how I feel about him.
I know how you feel about everything. It either pays off for you or it doesn't. Now, get this. If I can't have you, no other man will. Remember what the minister said? Whom God hath joined together,
You're being very final about something that's none of your business.
Before you marry that man, I'd rather see you dead first. I will see you dead first.
Mrs. Axelbent never did strike me as a very pleasant person, Mrs. Mullet. Possibly because she was always so deliberately pleasant. She has such an even disposition, irritating all the time.
Oh, you turn to the left here.
Uh-huh. Where you going there, you old plug? Get up there now. Go on.
Well, this Mr. Fribbits, the man she's going to marry, he has the best-looking son. Randy's his name. They say Randy's not very happy about that woman marrying his father. He's always been kind of a hot-tempered lad anyway. Doesn't relish having her as a stepmother.
You want me out of the way, don't you, Mrs. Axelbent?
Why, no, Randy. Why do you say that?
Because I always tell the truth. You're not marrying my father because you love him. You want to own this farm.
And you've always expected to inherit the farm yourself. Is that it?
I worked on this farm since I was old enough to stand up. That gives me a good claim, doesn't it?
Randy, why don't you take, what's that girl's name?
Connie? Connie Maplegrove?
Yes. Why don't you marry Connie and get away from the farm? Earn a living in your own way, under your own steam. Why do you feel content to just sit back and wait till your father dies?
Go away, huh? I'm wise to this dirty game you're playing, but I've one sure way to cut it short.
What in the world are you talking about?
You keep trying to marry my father and take the farm away from me, you'll see what I'm talking about. The ceremony will have to be postponed, because nobody can marry a dead bride.
There's the fair right up ahead of us, Mr. Witherall.
So it is. I want to wish you luck, Mrs. Mullet. I'll be very surprised if you don't win.
We can tie up over there. Looks like a parking place.
All right. Oh, girl. I'll just tie her up here. You know, only see hitching posts at the fair these days.
There's Mrs. Axelbent, standing by that first booth. See her? My, how she's dressed. Decorated like an admiral's flagship, ain't she?
Yes, decorated when the Admiral wasn't looking. Hold still now there, gal. That's it.
Hello there,
Mrs.
Mrs. Axelbent.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Mullet. I know you. That beard. Now, just a minute, Oh, of course. The man who looks like Shakespeare. You're Leonidas Witherall.
Yes, Mrs. Axelbent. And how are you? How's every little thing?
Are you going to judge this preserves contest, Mrs. Axelbent?
Oh, hello, Mrs. Wacker.
Well, Mrs. Wacker, you know Mr. Witherall, don't you? Mrs. Wacker does most of the folks' laundry back in Dalton.
Well, how do you do, Mrs.
Answer my
Wacker?
question. Are you going to judge the preserves contest, Mrs. Axelbent?
Yes, I'm to be the judge.
Well, I'm taking back my jar if you're to be the judge.
My dear woman, I hardly think of seeing it this time.
I don't care who hears me. I'll take my jar back, thank you. I couldn't win if you're the judge. You're set against me.
Now, after all...
Everyone knows about you and me. They know you're trying to take my boy away from me.
Well, merely suggested to the ladies' council that I hardly think a laundry is a fit place to raise a baby.
My baby's very healthy and very happy.
Well, perhaps we could discuss this some other time, eh?
We'll talk about it now.
What's the matter? What's the matter? The women having a fight?
Oh, just ironing out a baby.
Where do they think they are?
Now, you're making a scene, and this is in very bad taste.
You wouldn't talk to me in that house of yours, and so we'll talk now.
Come on, Mrs.
Oh, you let go of me. You leave me alone. You wouldn't dare to take away my baby, you sniveling nosy body, you cheap hypocrite.
Your son hasn't a proper home.
For what it's supposed to be, my son has the finest home in town.
But it's for the boy's own good.
You couldn't take my son away from me in a million years. You've nothing in your own life to satisfy you, and so you make up for it by meddling with everyone else's.
This promises to be the most jelly-shaking contest in history.
You meddle with my life and you'll pay for it. You take my baby from my house and I'll kill you. And God would forgive me, too.
Ah, these country fairs, so peaceful, the hope of a new world.
You know, I'm sorry for you, Mrs. Wacker. Terribly sorry. So many people in your circumstances are blind to what's best for them.
Oh, Mrs. Axelbent.
Oh, yes, Mr. Bradley.
Could you change your plans a bit? I mean about the preserves contest.
Why, what's wrong?
We'd rather have you at the war bond booth. It's much more important to sell bonds, and, well, you're so popular.
Yes, isn't she?
And we thought it would be better if someone else would judge the preserves.
Well, who'll judge them? Who could we get?
Why, those little jelly jars are causing one crisis after another, aren't they? Before being eaten, too.
Let's see. Somebody around here could do it.
Well, Mr. Witherall could do it.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Mullet, please.
Oh, would you, Mr. Witherall? Oh, I'd appreciate it so much.
Well, as a gastronomist, I'm afraid I'm caviar to the general.
What's that?
Shakespeare. I thought you said you recognized me.
Oh, go on, Mr. Witherall.
I'd like him to do it. He looks like a very honest man.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Wacker. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
Hey, what's wrong here?
Oh, just a discussion, Rufus. We need someone to take my place judging the preserves. Do you all know Mr. Axelbent?
Hurry up and settle it. I just took Dalton Chancery, Prince Igor IV, over to his pen.
Dalton Chancery, Prince Igor IV, pen name of a writer?
It's my prize bull. Trouble getting him here, too. It's very wild today. See him in the booth with the flag on it?
Yes. He looks formidable, as the English say, doesn't he?
Well, get going here, folks. I've no time to waste.
All right. I'll do my best as a jelly taster.
Hey, what's up? Why don't you get things started?
Well, I'm not going to judge the preserves, Randy. Mr. Witherall is. Do you know everyone? Randy Privet.
Come on, get going, folks.
Everybody over to booth number 3 for the preserve contest.
Booth number 3.
Hey, see my bull, Randy? I bet you we come out on top this year.
You think so?
Yeah.
Here's my jar, Mr. Witherall.
Mine. There's about 2 dozen others already in the booth.
I'll clear the crowd over. You get up on the platform, Mr. Witherall.
See you later, Shakespeare, and thank you for taking my place.
See you later.
By the way, here's our entry, Mr. Witherall. We should walk away with the contest. My fiancée made these. Connie Maple Grove.
Oh, all right, Randy. Let me first hop up on this platform. There we are.
Quiet, everybody. Quiet, everybody. Quiet, please. Thank you. Here's a clean spoon, Mr. Witherall. You can start any time now.
Start clean, eh? All right, Mr. Bradley. Here goes.
What's wrong back there?
The back of his wild bull! He broke out of his pen. He's heading this way.
Come on down off that platform, Mr. Witherall. Why, the bull's liable to pick you out.
Me? Pick me out. Oh, you flatter me.
Well, there he comes. Get out of the way, everybody.
Stand back, everybody. Don't push. Don't get near him, anybody. He's my bull. He's my bull. I know him. He'll claw you to death. Dalton, boy. Go back to your pen. Go back.
Why, that bull's running around like he's crazy.
Darn crowd. Pushing so much, I can hardly stand up.
Look out, Randy. You'll knock over that jar of preserves.
Oh,
gosh. Your coat. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it, Mr. Witherall. Now you've got that jelly all over your coat.
Well, of all things to happen, spilling preserves all over his coat.
Don't move, everybody. If you start to run, that bull of mine will kill you.
Come down off that platform, Mr. Witherall. The bull's looking at you.
At me?
Well, yes. Don't move now. Don't budge an inch.
That bull's too close for comfort.
Don't run, Witherall. He'll go after you.
Get out of my way, everybody.
Anybody got a gun? Let's shoot him. Hey, don't you dare shoot my bull.
But he'll drive those horns right into Mr. Witherall. Oh, don't run. Oh, good heavens. Somebody save him. Save Mr. Witherall. Well, the bull's almost caught him. Faster, Mr. Witherall, faster.
Help! Hey, he's got him near that wall. Don't back up against that wall. He'll get you into a trap.
Oh, I can't look. It'll be horrible. Look. Mr. Witherall's up against that wall. While the bull's going to charge. He's getting set. Do something. Do something.
Take off your coat, Witherall. Throw your coat at him. It might stop him.
Might make him angrier, too.
You've got to take that chance. Take off your coat. Throw it at him.
All right. I'll try anything. Here goes.
Why, it's working. The bull's looking at his coat.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. I thought it'd distract him. The bull's goring his coat.
Well, that's a lot better than going Mr. Witherall.
All right, Randy. You, Joe, a couple of you men. Sneak up on him. Grab him. We can pull him back to the pen. He'll be quiet now. Yeah, he's taking quite a fancy to Witherall's coat.
Yes, lucky it was covered with jelly.
Come on now, slow. Easy. Careful. Okay, I got him. Now, hold on now. We got him. Right. Easy, Dalton, boy. Calm down now. What'd you want to break out of the pen and scare all these people for, huh? Come on, calm down, boy.
Well, isn't anybody going to ask about me?
You all right, Mr. Witherall?
I'll be all right as soon as I get my heart out of my mouth.
Well, that was just about the most terrible thing I've ever seen happen to you, Mr. Witherall. It was your own fault, though. You shouldn't have started to run.
Yes, I knew it was my fault. In fact, while I was making my 100-yard dash from the platform with the bull's horns flirting with my coattails all the way, I kept thinking of that famous phrase, "Is this trip necessary?"
All right, folks, all right. Come on, break it up. No need to crowd around. Lots of other booths are open here.
Why, look at that bull chewing on your coat. Oh, it's a shame you have to lose it.
Well, let the poor little thing keep it. I'm warm enough now to get along without it. And anyway, those preserves...
He seems to like those preserves a lot. Look at the way he's licking them off the coat.
Quite a judge, isn't he? Well, he's usurped my place. Why not give him the spoon, too?
What's the matter, Dalton boy? You tired from chasing Mr. Witherall? Yes, poor Dalton boy.
Yes, hope I didn't frighten him.
Say, this bull of mine looks sick to me.
He looks sick? My good man, what do you think I've been doing?
Oh, chasing after you to wore him out.
Wore him out? Now, that's odd. Very peculiar.
Running a couple of yards after Mr. Witherall wore out your prize bull.
Well, now listen to him. Look at him wobbling on his feet.
Oh, too bad I wasn't wearing slippers, too.
You want to lie down, Dalton boy? You're feeling bad, huh? Lie down if you want to. Go on, lie down.
Yes, he's been under quite a strain. Perhaps we could get a chaise longue for him.
Never mind being so funny. My bull's sick, and you made him that way.
Well, he made me sick, tit for tat.
Well, the bull does seem pretty badly off, doesn't he?
You keep out of this, Mrs. Whacker. The very idea. The bull nearly kills Mr. Witherall. Now everybody's feeling sorry for the bull. Come on, Mr. Witherall. Let's get out of here.
Yes, a little relaxation is in order, Mrs. Mullet. They probably won't reorganize your jelly contest for a while. Hmm?
Well, want to stroll around the rest of the fair?
Yes, a very good suggestion.
If this bull of mine's really sick on account of you, Witherall, I'll sue you.
Yes, serves me right, teasing wild bulls. Bye. Come along, Mrs. Mullet.
Doesn't it strike you as very funny that a big husky prize bull would get sick just from running around a bit?
Funny is not the word, Mrs. Mullet.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I'm walking over here toward the bull's pen purposely. He did not break out by himself.
What?
I'm wondering who let him out. Mrs. Mullet, that word is murderous, perhaps. Look, Mrs. Mullet, there's a shooting gallery.
Well, you're not such a good shot, are you?
Oh, I'm not, eh? I was captain of the Meredith rifle team. Dead-eye Witherall, they called me. I'm for that shooting gallery. Come on.
All right.
No free shots. Here you are, folks. 10 shots for a quarter. They're all trying it. Every man his own commando. Yes, step right up and test your skill.
I'll try it. Here's a quarter.
Yes, yes, all right. Here we are. Going to win a Cupid doll for your girlfriend.
What did you say?
Oh, never mind him, Mrs. Mullet. He means to be complimentary. Say, fella, what's the most difficult object to hit?
Well, now, that clay pipe way over on the left side there. You see it? You hit that thing, you get a free round. Yeah, plus a gorgeous, rosy-cheeked, blue-eyed, practically genuine Cupid doll.
Get the doll ready. Dead-eye Witherall is about to perform. Now, here we go.
Well, I'm glad you're shooting blanks.
Oh, lady, you couldn't knock anything over with blanks. Those are real bullets. Go on, mister, go on.
Right.
Did you say dead eye, mister?
I'm merely warming up.
Still warming up.
Mr. Witherall, stop shooting. Put down that gun.
What's the matter?
Well, what's happened?
Well, look on the curtain behind the target. It's trickling down the curtain. It's blood.
Well, she's right. Someone's behind that curtain. Someone's been shot back there.
Come on, let's see. Hurry.
They must be between the curtain and the steel wall. I got a reinforced steel wall behind the target curtain. Holy smokes.
It's Mrs. Axelband.
Why, she's dead.
Yes, standing up.
Here, look at all that blood. Must be about 15 bullets in her. Blanks, indeed.
Gagged and tied to this pole back of the curtain. No one could see her, but nearly everyone who took a shot was likely to hit her.
Oh, good gracious. I've never in my life seen anything as awful as that. Oh, that pool of blood.
Say, you were the last guy to shoot, mister. I think the cops will want to talk to you, you murderer.
Me?
Oh, just can't stand looking at it. Take me away. Take me away.
Take her away. Help. Police. Murder. Murder.
Take it easy, little man, or you'll wake the dead.
You were shooting to the extreme left of the target curtain, huh, Bill?
That's right, Sergeant McCobble. None of the bullets from my rifle could have hit Mrs. Axelband.
Yeah, murderer sure was a brute. Taking that woman and tying her to the pole there behind that curtain. You know, Bill, she must have tried screaming, but I guess the handkerchief was so tight that she couldn't make much noise. Oh, by the way, who was shooting here just before Shakespeare? Would you recognize him?
Oh, I know some of them. There was a lady, the one that owns the laundry, over in Dalton.
Yeah.
Well, that's Mrs. Wacker.
Mrs. Wacker, and a young fella, the Fribbit boy, Randy Fribbit.
Go on, who else?
Well, the farmer, the farmer, the bull got loose. What's his name? Axel Grease?
Axelband.
A couple others, too. There's a soldier and some sailors.
Uh-huh.
Couple of...
Say, it makes things kind of tough, doesn't it, Bill?
It is hard to pin on anyone, Sergeant.
Is that so? Well, how about him, Sergeant? Do you know this fella?
Shakespeare?
No, this fella right here.
Why, sure. I've known Mr. Witherall for years. Don't be silly.
Well, why couldn't it have been him? If you ask me, he's a fancy-looking guy. Got a beard. He might be a spy or something.
I'm a spy. Bearded men are either spies or philosophers. I'd rather be a spy.
Here you, Mr. Witherall. I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, Mr. Axelband, I'm afraid we've some very bad news.
Oh, never mind that. Something important's happened. My bull's dead.
Your bull died?
Yes. Dalton Chancery, Prince Igor IV, my prize bull. Died a while after you left, after he chased you. It was your fault, Witherall.
He died, eh? Sergeant McCobble, that's the answer.
What are you thinking of, Bill?
That bull was poisoned.
Poisoned?
Of course. Don't you remember His Royal Highness ate something just before he became ill?
He ate your coat?
No, he licked the preserves off my coat, Mrs. Mullet. And the preserves were poisoned, you see.
Poison preserves. What's this all about? What's the police here for?
Mr. Axelbent, we found your ex-wife in back of this shooting gallery. I should say we found your ex-wife's body. She's been murdered.
Murder?
Bill, whoever tied Mrs. Axelbent up behind this gallery, he tried to kill her first by poisoning the jelly.
Uh-huh.
You see, because they knew she was going to be the judge of the contest, and they'd be tasting each bottle. Isn't that it?
Exactly. Therefore, Sergeant, your problem now is who made the preserves that were spilled on my coat?
Here's the girl who made that jar of poisoned preserves, Bill. Connie Maplegrove.
Oh, come here.
Yeah, I got her name by checking the number of the broken bottle against the entry list.
Why, she's Randy's sweetheart.
Well, what about it? I don't know anything about this. I did make the preserves, but I never dreamed of killing Mrs. Axelbent.
Connie, darling,
Oh,
you just
Randy,
heard.
it's awful. They think I
know,
killed Mrs.
dear, and I know you're perfectly innocent. You've got no right to keep her here, Sergeant.
Mind your own business, Randy. I'm running this. They tell me, Connie, that if Mrs. Axelbent married Randy's father, your boyfriend would never inherit that big farm his father has.
That's right, but Connie had nothing to do
I'm
with it.
asking Connie the questions, not you.
Well, it's true, but she didn't have any right to get the farm. Randy deserves it. He worked on it all his life.
With that woman out of the way, why, you marry Randy, he gets that tremendous farm, and you're sitting pretty. Is that correct?
Well, I never thought of such a thing. Besides, there's something else you didn't think of.
What's on your mind, Connie?
Well, it's very simple.
Yes, I know, but what's on it?
Why do you accuse me? Anyone could have poisoned the preserves somehow. It might have been that laundress, Mrs. Wacker. It might have been Mr. Axelbent. He's very jealous.
Strangely enough, Connie, we've already realized there are quite a number of prospects, and suspects, too. But you're here for a specific reason.
Besides, the jar of preserves was sealed with paraffin, wasn't it? How could anyone else get poison into that bottle? You're the only person in the world who could have done it, Connie. And you're going to sit there until you tell us the truth.
Yes, we've got the goods on you, all right.
Please, Mrs. Mullet, leave this to me. Now, go on, Connie. Go on. Start talking. Well, go on.
I tell you, I don't know anything about this.
Okay, then we'll just sit here till you change your mind and quit lying.
Yes, we're waiting for you to tell the truth.
Please, Mrs. Mullet, leave this to me. Go on, Connie. Now, it'll be easier for you if you don't stall. You killed Mrs. Axelbent, didn't you? You murdered her, didn't you? You tied her up behind that shooting gallery, and then you went out front and you paid a quarter for enough bullets to commit cold-blooded murder. Now you're going to hang for
No,
it.
I didn't do it. I didn't. Come on now. It'll be easier for you if you don't stall.
Please, Mrs. Mullet, leave this to me.
I don't know anything about this. I never wanted to come to the fair. I was afraid something would happen. I didn't want to enter the contest. I really didn't want to come here at all. That's why I sent Randy ahead with my jar. I wanted to stay home.
Just a minute. Didn't you come here with Randy?
No, I came much later. I only been here about 10 minutes. Like I said, I didn't want to come at all.
You weren't here when the contest started, when the bull broke loose?
What bull?
Ah. Sergeant, our problem is not who made the preserves. The murderer is the person who let that prize bull out of his pen.
Let the prize bull out?
Certainly. The killer planned to dispose of Mrs. Axelbent by means of the preserves. Originally, that's obvious. But at the last minute, there was an unexpected change of judges. I took over the role. The killer wasn't after me, thank heaven. So she, or he, had to get rid of that bottle of poison jelly before I tasted it.
So whoever it was let the bull out of the pen as an excuse to start a panic, so as the bottle could be broken.
That's it. The murderer is the person who deliberately broke that bottle of preserves and spilled it on me.
Why, that was...
Grab him, Sergeant.
All right, you stay right where you are.
Randy,
Don't stay here, Randy.
You killed Mrs. Axelbent.
Fiendish way to kill, Randy. Fiendish. Tie up your victim and then deliberately buy the bullets. 10 shots for a quarter. 10 bloody, fatal shots.
Ow!
Either you stand still or this blackjack of mine's going to make you... Take those handcuffs, Bill. Slip them over his wrists while I hold his arms. That's it. Okay.
I swore she'd never marry my father and take that farm away from me. Well, she didn't. She didn't get it.
No, neither of you will get the farm. That's even-handed justice, so my poet phrased it.
There's just one thing, Bill, about getting the poison into the jar, I mean. It was sealed with paraffin.
Oh, that's easy, Sergeant. An ordinary hypodermic syringe and needle would do the trick. Inject the poison through the paraffin without disturbing it. How about that, Randy?
Did you throw the hypodermic away, or is it still in your pocket?
Well, it's in my pocket. The left-hand pocket.
I'll get it. I'll search it.
Mr. Witherall, he hit the sergeant on the head with a handcuff. There he goes. Stop him. Stop
Bill,
him.
my gun. Take it. Stop him.
Don't shoot. You'll kill him. Randy!
You got him, Mr. Witherall. Looks like you hit him in the leg. And with just one shot, too.
Of course, just one shot, Mrs. Mullet. Remember, Deadeye is my middle name. Now let's find another shooting gallery, and I'll get you a rosy-cheeked, blue-eyed, practically genuine Cupid doll.
WOR Mutual has presented the distinguished American actor Walter Hampden in The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall. Mrs. Mullet is played by Ethel Ramey. The character of Leonidas Witherall is from the mystery novels by Alice Tilton. The radio script is by Howard Merrill, and the program is directed by Roger Bauer. Mr. Hampden has an important announcement to make. Mr. Hampden.
Well, Leonidas's friends won't be sharing a puzzle in homicide with him next week because our program is changing time. Witherall, Mrs. Mullet, and the worthy sergeant will be back on the air on Sunday, October 8th, that's 2 weeks from tonight, at 7 p.m. Eastern War Time. That's 2 hours earlier than usual. I hope you'll make a note to join us then, Sunday, October 8th at 7 p.m. Until then, good night.
Beginning next Sunday evening, October 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern War Time, WOR Mutual will present a new musical program, Steel Horizons, with John Baker, baritone of the Metropolitan Opera Association, and guest soloists and an orchestra conducted by Frederick Wunsch. And remember, Leonidas Witherall will return on October 8th at 7 p.m. The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall came to you from the stage of the WOR Mutual Playhouse in New York. This is Mutual.
Welcome back. A nice little state fair you've got there. A little melodramatic, but they had some definite funny spots, and I definitely appreciate the whole World War II setting with the mention of war bonds. And there's so many World War II episodes missing of so many detective series. It's just interesting to be able to have these. This, of course, I think more in that style where you find somebody who everybody seemingly in the fair had a motive to kill, and then you ask who done it. Overall, again, a very interesting episode, and we'll be looking forward to next week's show with Leonidas Witherall. And be sure to join us tomorrow for Let George Do It. Over on Podcast Alley, Joan writes in, your collection of different shows in the great detectives of old-time radio surpasses everyone else's knowledge and gives us some insight. She says, I've always liked Barry Craig, yours truly, Johnny Doll, Let George Do It, and Leonidas Witherall. Keep up the good work. Joan from Southern Ontario, Canada. Well, thanks so much, Joan. I appreciate all your support and your comments. We will see you all tomorrow, and By the way, next week we'll be announcing what some of the new shows that will be coming in the 2012-2013 season that gets underway last week of October. So you won't want to miss that, and we will have some new shows coming to Tuesday you'll want to hear about. I want to say a special thank you to some of those folks who've been supporting our listener support campaign. Richard, and also to Stephen. And we'll be sending along access to our premium site, as we do with all donations of $7 or more. During our listener support campaign, we also send along a special thank you gift in addition to that. And there are a choice of several different items for those who donate $20 or more. Among those include Colonial Radio Theater's presentations of Father Brown, of Perry Mason, and of the original Western series Powder River. We also have options at the $50 level, which includes an autographed copy of Tales of the Dim Night, available to those of you who live in the United States or Canada. We also have at the $100 level something new, a 3-month subscription to the Netflix Instant Watch. Now, the reason I'm doing this, last time around I gave away Amazon gift cards so people could watch the Poirot series. They had several of the 2-hour movies available that weren't available on Netflix at the time. Since then, Netflix has made some of these feature-length episodes, everything with Poirot, up to Series 6 available. And so I thought it'd be better just to give folks at the $100 level 3 months gift subscription to Netflix. And that's kind of a smorgasbord, all you can watch of just a wide variety of different detective programs that are available on the Instant Watch, including Rockford Files, Jeremy Brett's Sherlock Holmes. They've got Tommy and Tuppence, quite a bit of Poirot, as well as 2 different Miss Marple series, some Doctor Who. So we'll send 3 months of unlimited streaming from Netflix with donations of $100 or more. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode. I'll let George do it. This episode is called Off the Record.
Personal notice, danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California invites you to Let George Do It. In just a moment, we'll begin tonight's adventure of George Valentine. But first, are you using new RPM motor oil in your car? If so, then you're already using the oil that doubles engine life between major overhauls due to lubrication. If not, then now's the time for you to switch over to new RPM, the oil that more than meets the heavy-duty motor oil requirements of all car manufacturers. And be sure you always get new RPM at independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. Off the Record, another adventure of George Valentine.
Dear Mr. Valentine, I need you to do a little job for me. Somebody, I don't know who, seems to feel that I would be better dead. Of course, you've heard of me, Dan Dana, radio commentator. My broadcast is called Off the Record. Well, strictly on the record, I've been getting a number of anonymous letters suggesting that if I don't change my
tune, my career will come to an untimely end. Suppose you drop in my office at the radio station tomorrow afternoon about 3. George?
Yes, Angel.
This man must be crazy. Somebody threatened to kill him, and he acts as blasé about it as though he were buying a new necktie.
Well, he probably feels that way about it, too. Haven't you ever heard him on the air?
No, I don't think so.
Well, if you had, you'd know it. Crusader type. Rips the daylights out of everybody he thinks is out of line. I'm surprised somebody hasn't bumped him off before now.
Oh, if he needs protection.
Oh, he'll get it. A fee is a fee. Make a note, Brooksy. This afternoon, 3 o'clock, Dan Dana.
All right, Babs, type up that much and bring it in. I'll get the rest of my notes.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, what is it you wanted to see me about?
I'm George Valentine. This is Miss Brooks.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I sent for you.
Yeah, that's right. 3 o'clock.
You're punctual. It's good. I have to prepare the rest of my broadcast for tonight. Now, here are the letters. The rest is up to you. Oh, yes, I've made out this check for your fee.
Oh, thanks. All these notes are typewritten, huh?
That's right. Haven't any idea who sent them.
May I see one of them, George?
Oh, sure. Sorry, Angel.
As you'll notice, they all suggest that I know too much, talk too much, maybe even live too much.
Yeah. Mr. Dana, just as a starter, could you tell us, haven't you made enemies with your broadcasts?
Enemies? Certainly. I've stepped on toes when I've revealed local corruption. Someone is afraid I'll ruin him with what I'll dig up. But if you think I'm going to stop...
Oh, I don't, of course.
Well, that's the way I've built my reputation, Valentine. That's the way I'll continue to build it.
You certainly believe in living dangerously, don't you, Mr. Dana?
That sort of thing pays off, Miss Brooks.
All right, Dana. I'll do what I can to uncover this person who's threatening you. But just for a little help, whom are you working on at the moment?
I'm digging up a lot of stuff on Corey Dennis.
You mean the big politician?
That's right. I think the man's crooked. I can't prove it yet, but I'll have my report in this afternoon.
And give it on your broadcast?
Naturally. And now I have work to finish.
And so do I. Okay, Dana. I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Valentine. You might listen in tonight. 9 o'clock?
Sure. We'll be listening.
George, this is the craziest case you've ever taken. You haven't a thing to start with.
Yeah, that's right. So, I think we'll have to talk with the guy who hired this fearless Fosdick, his boss.
His boss? Who?
Manager of the station, Emerson Craig. I saw his name on the door when we came in. Let's find him.
Dan Dana? Yes, I hired him, Mr. Valentine.
Well, pardon me, Mr. Craig, but you don't sound as though you were very happy about it.
Frankly, I'm not. I hired Dana for the commentator spot. Yes, I did. Because I was told to.
But you're the manager of the station, Mr. Craig. It looks like you...
There happens to be an owner of the station, too, Miss Brooks. He ordered me to hire Dana.
Oh, you had somebody else in mind?
Why, certainly. I had another of our announcers all groomed for the job, Bill Trask. But the boss didn't see it that way.
Uh-huh. I gather you don't like the way Dana operates.
I don't. He fancies himself a crusader. Crusaders are always trouble. I'm interested in the good of this station. You want to know something?
Well, I'd like to know anything that would protect a man's life.
A man's life? Listen. Every week, the day after Dana's broadcast, I'm sent a clip from a tape recording. And what he said the night before.
Does Mr. Dana know about that?
Why, of course he does. Certainly. I've told him time and time again. But he pays no attention.
Well, just one more thing, Mr. Craig. I'm hired to dig into this thing for Dana, but I'll have to know more about it. Who's close to him?
Nobody, really. Oh, his wife, I suppose. But I understand they're not on very good terms lately. There's been some talk of his running around with Babs Lewis, his secretary. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it won't do any harm to have a talk with Mrs. Dana anyway. Thanks, Mr. Craig.
Not at all. Only one thing. I'm afraid if you're planning on protecting Dana, you're wasting your time.
Door, George. This is the way out.
Finally, yeah. The guy that designed this radio station must have built a catacombs. Come on, Angel.
What's next, Darren? You still haven't anything to go on.
No, not yet. But we have found out that Dana could have some enemies.
Well, of course. The crooked politicians he's after.
And the man we just saw upstairs, Craig. And Dana's wife, who thinks he's running around with another woman. Oh, here we are. Let's get out.
Why not start by seeing this politician, Corey Dennis?
If he's been sending threatening notes to Dana and tape recordings to the manager, he's not going to admit it, is he?
No, I guess not.
Hey, wait a minute, Brooksy. Let's go this way.
All right. What are you... George!
Hey, come on, Angel. Get back onto the marquee.
But that thing on the sidewalk, it almost hit us.
Looks like it was meant to hit us. Lucky we changed our course.
What is it, George?
It's a sandbag. One of the things they use in studios for sound effects. Came from one of those windows up there.
How could it just fall out of...
It was dropped out on purpose.
Oh, George, I'm weak.
Can't blame you for that.
Valentine. Hey, Valentine.
Oh, Dana. What are you so excited about?
I saw you leaving the building. Something's just come up, Valentine.
Yeah? Something just came down, too. Know anything about that sandbag there on the sidewalk?
No. What about it?
Well, it was dropped from somewhere up there. It just missed us.
Yeah? Well, probably just an accident. Listen, I just got another threatening note. It just came, special delivery.
Well, for once you sound excited, Mr. Dana.
Here, take it. Says if I tell anything about the Dennis affair in my broadcast tonight, as I said I would, I'll never go on the air again.
Well, that's putting it right on the line, certainly. Now, look, Dana, I have a suggestion that'll save us both a lot of trouble.
Yeah? What's that?
Don't tell anything about the Dennis affair tonight.
Oh, I'll tell something, all right, and it'll be something nobody expects. I've finally got the facts.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's your neck, Buster, not mine.
Better listen in, Valentine, because maybe after tonight I won't need your services at all. That certain forces are working against the best interests of the people in this city has been stated and proved many times. This commentator has called shots and named names. One of those names is well known to every citizen.
Get to the point.
He's a man of power and great influence. We've made it a point to unearth all possible information about this man. Very well, ladies and gentlemen, the facts are all in. And the result will be as much of a surprise to you as it was to me. Now, in the case of Mr. Corey Dennis, the facts, and here they are. Only this afternoon.
George. Oh, Dad. George, that sounded like a shot.
Exactly what it was, Brooksy. We'd better hot-foot it down there and find out the condition of our client.
Just a minute, you people. Where do you think you're going? This is
Well, Lieutenant Johnson, how are you?
I might have known it. You've got a client here someplace. Hello, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Lieutenant. How is he?
How is who?
My client.
Who's your client?
Look, Lieutenant, let's not go into an Abbott and Costello routine. How's Dan Dana?
Oh, that's your client. Or was. No fee for you, my friend. No case. He's dead.
Dead?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I sort of suspected that when I heard his show on the air. Who killed him?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be standing here gabbing with you.
All right, then how was he killed?
Shot, of course. Through the window of that client's booth up there. Deserted corridor upstairs. Nobody saw anybody.
Then you don't even have a suspect, Lieutenant?
Of course I've got a suspect. When this Dana had just opened his mouth to give the lowdown on a political big shot and was murdered before he could get it out, wouldn't that provide a pretty good suspect?
You mean Corey Dennis, of course. What does he have to say about it?
He doesn't. It so happens he's conveniently out of town. Boys are looking for him, naturally.
Oh, naturally. Well, looks like when we find him, you'll have your case wrapped up. Sorry I couldn't help you on this one, old boy.
Just a minute, Valentine. You don't usually get out of my hair this easy. What's on your mind?
Nothing. Just have a few people I want to talk to, that's all. See you later, Johnson.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
George, who are the people you want to see?
Well, Mrs. Dana, for one, and Bill Trask, the announcer, and the secretary, Babs Lewis. Just because my client is dead is no reason to quit the case. Especially when we got such a nice fee in advance.
No, that's right. Who do we start with?
Nobody tonight, too late. We'll check the addresses first thing in the morning. And then start off with Mrs. Dana.
Then you don't think you can help us, Mrs. Dana?
No, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know anything about it.
One thing I wanted to ask you, Mrs. Dana. Is it true that you and your husband weren't on very good terms?
That's none of your business.
I'm sorry, but when a man is dead, those things become everybody's business. Was your husband running around with a secretary?
I suppose so, yes.
Mm-hmm. And, you were pretty jealous, weren't you?
Of course I was jealous. Who wouldn't be? But if you think I killed Dan, you're dead wrong.
I suppose you have an alibi for the time of his death anyway, Mrs. Dana.
Of course I do. I was at a bridge party. Got there at 8 o'clock and didn't
You
leave.
heard the broadcast from there? The shot?
Yes, I called the station and they told me Dan was dead. The police are going to call me this morning to go down to the morgue.
Yes, I know. Well, just one more thing, Mrs. Dana. Do you have any idea who did kill your husband?
No. Probably one of those big shots he was out to get. He was a fool.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Dana. Come on, Brooksy.
Goodbye, Mrs. Dana.
Well, all roads seem to lead back to Mr. Corey Dennis, Angel. Guess we'd better see him after all.
Well, George, you don't know where he is. Lieutenant Johnson said this morning they hadn't found him yet.
Yeah, that's right. But I happen to know that whenever anything happens, this Dennis spends a few days at a certain golf club. We'll tee off for there. Mr. Dennis?
What? Oh, yes, I'm Dennis.
Oh, I'm very sorry to disturb your shot there. My name is Valentine. This is Miss Brooks.
How do you do? Valentine, eh? I never heard of you. You're a detective?
Well, something along that line. Mr. Dennis, I suppose you know the police are trying to locate you.
They are? Why?
Something in connection with the death of Dan Dana, the commentator, I believe. You heard that he was murdered.
Yes, I did. Too bad. Of course, I didn't quite agree with his tactics.
I believe they'll want to ask you where you were around 9:25 last night, Mr. Dennis. Thought I'd beat them to it.
Last night? Why, I was out of town making a speech. The meeting lasted from 8:30 until, about 10. But why do you ask me this?
The police seem to think you're their number one suspect, Mr. Dennis.
I? Suspect for a murder? Why, that's ridiculous. Why would I want to kill Dana?
Well, now, Mr. Dennis, they seem to feel you had a motive. Dana had unearthed a lot of stuff on you, and he was just on the point of putting it on the air when he was killed.
Oh, that. Yes, Dana did have the idea that I was being crooked about something. But he found out differently. Too bad for my sake he didn't finish his broadcast last night.
What do you mean by that?
He called me on the phone late yesterday afternoon, just before I left for my speaking engagement. He apologized, said the facts proved he was completely wrong, and he was going to say so on the air.
Oh.
He was also going to call the names of the people who were guilty of this fraud.
He was? Who were they?
Mr. Valentine, I haven't the slightest idea. He didn't tell me. But I might suggest that if you can find out who they are, you'll find your murderer.
We'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment. Say, I know you'll enjoy this. You've heard me mention my neighbor Whitey, and I'm sure you know how much he delights in kidding me about the extra care I take of my car. Well, the other morning, I looked out our kitchen window and spotted Whitey trying to start his car. But the battery was dead. So real casually, not letting on I knew about his battery, I called him up on the phone and offered him a ride to work. Of course, he accepted, and of course, he didn't mention his dead battery. Well, sir, all the way to town, I told him what a good idea it is to have battery checked regularly by the car savers at standard stations and independent Chevron gas stations. Then I mentioned that a battery just has to be inspected regularly in order to perform its best. Then I said to Whitey, why, anybody knows that if a battery is weak, it should be recharged by car savers. They give it a fast, powerful charge, the kind that gives new life to tired-out batteries. Poor Whitey. He never did come out and admit that the battery in his car was dead, and I never let on that I knew. But as he got out of the car, the sheepish, embarrassed look on his face was all the reward I needed. So, friends, if you want to avoid the embarrassment of having to hitch a ride some frosty morning, better drive in soon and have your battery checked, and if needed, recharged by the car savers at any independent Chevron gas station or standard station, where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. And now back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. You're engaged by Dan Dana, a brash and fearless young radio commentator, to find out who has been sending him threatening letters. But before you can really get started on the job, you find yourself working for a client who is no longer in the land of the living. Two people you've talked to have seemingly perfect alibis, the dead man's wife and the big-shot politician he's been out to expose. If your name is George Valentine, you decide to go back to another theory.
George.
Yes, Hazel?
I know you'll laugh at me, but I think coming to see this announcer, what's his name?
Trask, Bill Trask.
Well, I think it's foolish. Just because Dana got the job this Trask person wanted is no reason for him to kill.
Yes? Oh, hello. Mr. Trask?
Yes, that's right.
Well, my name is Valentine, Mr. Trask, and this is Miss Brooks. I'm working on the Dan Dana case.
Oh, police?
Well, no, not exactly. This is more of a private investigation. May we come in?
Oh, why, certainly. I'm forgetting my manners. I'm sorry. Do come in.
Thanks.
Too bad about Dana, really. Sorry, I can't say he was such a nice chap.
No, I know. Now, look, let's not waste time. You hated Dana, didn't you?
Hated him? No, I wouldn't exactly say that. Disliked him, yes, as most everyone did. But I guess the one who killed him must have hated him.
Trask, I'm not going to waste your time or mine. Would you mind telling me where you were last night at 9:25?
Would I mind telling you? Of course not, my dear chap. I was right here.
Here? In your apartment?
That's right. It was my night off at the station.
Was anyone with you here, Mr. Trask?
Oh, I know, but...
Well, then you don't have an alibi for that time last night, do you?
Now, look here, Valentine. If you're trying to accuse me of killing Dana, you're making a big mistake.
I'm only interested in facts, Buster. You disliked Dana because he got the job your station manager, Craig, had all set up for you, right?
Well, suppose I did. Is that any reason...
And if Dana were out of the way, you'd still get that job. Also, right?
Of course.
All right, then. It seems to me you'd better find yourself an alibi for last night, or you might be in trouble.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, boy. Even though I'm not guilty of murder, you had me worried about that alibi business for a moment.
You mean you do have an alibi, Mr. Trask?
Of course I have, and I don't know a better one. Come over here to my breakfast nook.
What's your breakfast nook got to do with it?
I'll show you. Just that.
A tape recording machine?
That's right. You see, I have a hobby of recording shows off the air.
So?
So last night, I happened to be recording Dan Dana's broadcast. He said he was going to blow the lid off something, and I thought I'd record it.
You mean Dana's broadcast is on that tape? The one that's still on the machine?
That's just what I mean. So if I were here recording his program off the air, how could I have been at the studio to kill him?
Yeah, I see what you mean. You heard the whole thing, then? The shot and all?
How could I miss it?
Mm-hmm. And when you heard it, what did you do?
I turned off the radio and called the studio. The lines were all busy, but I finally got through and asked what had happened. They told me Dana was dead. You might check an operator by the name of Myrtle. She answered the call.
Yeah. Well, that puts you in the clear, all right, Trask. But another thought occurs to me.
Yes? What's that?
Wouldn't you be the person who's been sending clips from tape recordings of Dana's shows to the station manager?
All right. So I am. You see, Valentine, I did want to kill Dana. But professionally, not physically. That was one way I was taking to do it.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you'd like me to play back this recording to prove what I did...
No, that won't be necessary. Sorry to have disturbed you.
I wish I might have been of more help to you.
Oh, that's all right. I have another call to make, and that may clear up everything.
Oh?
Where are we going now, George?
We're going to see Dana's secretary, Brooksy.
Babs Lewis?
Yeah, that's right. Think she might help us, Trask?
Well, I don't know. I doubt it, but it's with I, isn't it?
Now, since that's our last hope, I think it is. Apartment K, the man said. Now, let's see. G.D.
You certainly don't think this Babs Lewis would kill her own boss, do you, George? It's especially if they were supposed to be going around...
No, of course not, Angel. I want to see her for two reasons. One, she might have an idea who killed Dana. Two, she might know if Dana was actually going to make a public apology to Corey Dennis.
I'm afraid I'm a little confused.
Afraid I am, too, Angel. Here we are, Apartment K.
She isn't in, I guess.
She's not.
George, you're not going in there.
Sure. Have a look around. Never can tell. Maybe the lady kept her records.
What is it, George? What'd you say?
I didn't. Miss Lewis can't help us much, I'm afraid, Brooksy.
What do you mean?
On the floor there. The lady happens to be dead. Wait a minute.
Dad.
Shot through the heart. Been dead for quite a long time, too.
George.
Yeah?
Doesn't this prove something to you?
What?
Well, don't you see? Maybe Mrs. Dana had a phony alibi. Maybe she killed Dana and then his sweetheart.
I doubt it.
Oh. Well, all right, then. Maybe Dennis's alibi was a phony. Maybe he killed Dana and then his secretary because she knew what he was going to say.
Well, that makes more sense than your first idea, but that would make Johnson right, and Johnson's so seldom right, I can't believe it.
Lieutenant Johnson could be right once in a while, couldn't he, George?
Oh, yeah, sure, I suppose so. Hey, wait a minute.
All right, George, I'm waiting.
I got a hunch.
Yeah, what is it?
Come on.
Well, all right, but, darling.
Yeah?
Don't you think it would be a nice idea to call Lieutenant Johnson and tell him we've managed to find another murder?
Oh, yeah, sure. And I'll also tell him to stand by. Because I think I got an idea how to find out who the murderer is.
George?
Yeah, Brooksy?
Running a good average, aren't we? breaking into 2 apartments the same day. And why this one?
I want to listen to this recording. Now, where can I plug in this cord? Oh, here we are. An outlet on the electric range.
One of those names is well known to every citizen. He's a man of power and great influence. We've made it a point to unearth all possible information about this man. Very well, ladies and gentlemen, the facts are all in.
This is the same
and the
broadcast
result
we did
will be as
before.
much of a surprise to you
We didn't
as
hear the
it
end
was
of it.
to me.
Now, listen.
Now, in the case of Mr. Corey Dennis, the facts, and here they are. Only this afternoon.
Oh, Dad. Dad. George.
Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had something has happened in the studio that due to circumstances beyond our control, it'll be impossible to continue this broadcast. But please stand by.
All right, Brooksy. That does it. Did you tell Johnson to stand by for our call?
Yes, George, but that voice sounded like the manager of the station. What's his name?
Craig, that's right, it was. Now, let me have that phone.
Valentine? You in there, Valentine?
Yeah, Johnson, come on in.
Okay, go on in, Trask.
Once more, Lieutenant, what's the meaning of this?
Don't ask questions. Go on in.
Oh, hello there, Trask.
Valentine, what are you doing in my apartment?
Here on business, Buster. Working for the exterminator.
Don't be stupid. I was on duty at the studio this afternoon, and this lieutenant came out and got...
Oh, that's all right, Trask. Don't get excited about it. I fixed everything with Mr. Craig.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Just what do you mean, Valentine?
Well, you won't be seeing Mr. Craig for a while, Trask. Oh, Brooksy.
Yes, George.
Come here a minute, will you?
Yes, darling.
Brooksy, when we heard Dana's broadcast, heard the shot over the air, what did we do?
Well, we shut off the radio and went down to the station.
Ah, that's right. Normal reaction. And, what did Trask here say he did?
Well, he said he shut off his radio and called the station on the phone to find... George.
Just what are you building up to, Valentine?
Yes, what? And why did you get me up here?
Because you've been the witness to 2 murders, Trask.
What do you mean?
You had to be a witness. Because you committed them.
You lie.
I do. You bring that little package, Brooksy?
Yeah, here it is, George.
Okay, thanks. This is for you, Johnson, and handle it carefully. It's a gun with 2 shots missing. You'll find those and a couple of bodies you're holding in the morgue.
Where did you get that?
Hidden in that compartment in the back of your tape recorder, Trask. Too bad you couldn't have had time to get rid of it. All right, how about it, Johnson?
Okay. Come along, Trask. I guess you've made your last announcement.
I would have to get mixed up with some little smart jerk like you.
Get going.
Okay, I'm going.
George.
Yeah, Angel?
How did you even suspect Trask? He had a perfect alibi.
Well, I'll tell you in a minute, Brooksy. But let's get out of here. I'm hungry.
I'll bet you're making frequent shopping trips in town these days to finish your Christmas buying. So it's a good time to remind you that for all-round performance in your car, for those short trips, and for occasional long drives, you need Chevron Supreme's all 8 high-performance qualities, starting warm-up, acceleration, vapor lock prevention, anti-knock, mileage, area blending, and power. To get all 8, just say, fill her up with Chevron Supreme at any standard station or independent Chevron gas station where they say and mean, we take better care of your car.
Well, you earned your fee, all right, darling. But I still don't understand why you suspected Trask. He had a perfect alibi.
Sure he did. He was home recording Dan Dana's broadcast when Dana was killed. Only he wasn't.
Oh, now I'm mixed up again. You mean somebody else made the recording?
He made it all right, but he wasn't there. You remember when we broke into his apartment to play it back?
Sure.
It wasn't turned off right after the shot, as he said, because he wasn't there to turn it off. He had the recorder in the breakfast nook in the kitchen, remember?
Well, that's right. What's wrong with that?
Well, the plug-in cord just reached to the appliance outlet on the range. And that outlet has a timing device. It was set to start at 9 and turn off at 9:30. Easy as that.
You mean he set the thing, went down and killed Dana?
Call from a phone booth somewhere, and he had an airtight alibi.
Oh, darling, that's wonderful. You work out so many mechanical things. Sometimes, why don't you try
Work
to
out some culinary things? That's a good idea, Angel. Oh, waiter, bring us a menu, please.
Oh, George.
Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and Standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George, with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It was written by Lloyd London and directed by Kenneth Webb. Ken Christie was heard as Lieutenant Johnson, Bob Stevenson as Dana, Joe Duvall as Dennis, Alice Reinhardt as Kathy, and George Pembroke as Trask. The music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. There are a few things to comment on. The first thing I thought was kind of the big plot hole at the start of this is if the radio host had thought to have George in the studio, this wouldn't have been much of an episode. It would have made a little more sense. You hire a detective to protect yourself and stop yourself from being hurt. You get a threat that somebody's going to shoot, going to take violent action against you if you go ahead with a planned broadcast. So, during the broadcast, you tell the detective you've paid a big retainer to sit at home. That doesn't necessarily make sense. The ending, I think, is probably something we really have to put our minds back in the time to really appreciate the false alibi that got put up. Because I was sitting there having a very different reaction from George and Brooksy. Their reaction was, wow, that's an alibi. Mine was, that's an alibi? There are a lot of variables here that could make this not such a good alibi, depending on how close he was to the radio station, how close he lived, which wasn't a detail I mentioned. He could have very well had the recorder running while he committed murder and be back. And of course, in this age of portable electronics, I kind of think of, was this recorder movable by any means? It probably would have made too much noise, but certainly if he had another recorder somewhere, he could have recorded it on one machine, brought it back to this machine, and our heroes would not have known the difference. In a larger way, though, this is one of those technologically based alibis and clues that kind of can be hard to appreciate down through the years. Similar to an episode of Columbo from the 1990s. I won't tell you which ones, so I won't spoil the ending in case you haven't seen it. But Columbo solved the mystery based on lousy cell phone reception in Malibu. This was in the early days of cell phones, where the killer made a call, could not have possibly made it from where he claimed to make it because there was no cell phone reception. I imagine that in the decade plus since that episode, cell phone reception has improved. If anybody's listening to me out of Malibu, let me know. But I guess our concepts of recording and recording equipment make it a challenge for me to fully grasp if this was really that good of an alibi. If any of you are more expert in some of the historic audio equipment and how easy, it would have been around 1951-52, and remember, this guy who is a radio announcer, what he had would probably be top of the line. So if you've got some additional thoughts or knowledge, insights, I'd love to hear it. Box13@greatdetectives.net. Also, I feel a little sorry for poor old Whitey. Whitey neglected his battery. And not only does his neighbor, just quietly keep it under his hat and then reveal it on radio across the seven-state area of the Don Lee Mutual Network, but it's preserved for posterity. Whitey, why didn't you take better care of that battery? Though I think they took some of this stuff more in stride than we do today. Some folks today what would have happened would have ended up being material for George Valentine's next case. Well, we turn to listener comments and feedback, and we have a question here from a listener who notes a change. Henry mailed in and said, "Why the switch to the blip player for MP4 videos? Your call, but you should warn people." Well, I'm sorry I didn't give advance notice. Did not know there would be an issue with it, so I apologize if that caught anyone off guard. The reason for the switch to the blip TV videos kind of goes back to when we were having the problems. You know, we had the virus and infection, and that was one problem. But then we were taking up a lot of server resources according to our host. Andrew Ryan's on the exact same company and not having any problems and running a very similar show. And, you know, we kind of talked about, you know, what are some of the, differences. And one thing we came up with is Andrew hosts all of his videos on Blip TV. And, that seemed to me like something that logically could make quite a bit of difference. We get a lot of downloads on the videos, particularly the newer episodes. Just a ton of downloads. And we're always glad to serve it up because there's so much great Golden Age video out there. And we definitely want to bring it to you. But one problem you run into with that is videos are just a lot more space in terms of the total size of the files. For comparison, probably a typical radio episode, I'd say, is about 13 to 16 megabytes. Kind of depends on the length of the episode and the amount of commentary we put in. The size of a video, about the 30-minute scale or thereabouts, we're looking at about 100 megabytes. At the other end, we're looking about 300 megabytes. So between 6 and 18 times just the size of the audio file. And we've had people asking, why are there occasional, or why are there slow downloads? I've not experienced that myself. It may just be key, certain times of the day. We're hoping to alleviate those sort of problems by availing ourselves of Blip TV's video hosting, so that we can still bring you the videos and not have a drag on the audio version and have our server running optimally and not getting overloaded. So that's why, and I apologize if anyone was caught off guard. It's just to make sure that we've got the best show possible going for you. All right, well, that'll do it for today. Join us tomorrow for Sherlock Holmes. Next week for Let George Do It. And remember, next week also going to be announcing our new series, and we have something really special for you coming up on Saturday. You won't want to miss it. I'll probably mention a little bit more tomorrow, but we'll see you then. Well, I do want to thank Aaron, who sends along support to our listener support campaign, and also some suggestions. We'll talk a little bit of prayers about a couple of those after the show. In the meantime, I do want to encourage you, if you want to give to the listener support campaign, help us cover some expenses, and also just passion for old-time radio and great detectives, I encourage you, if you want to, go ahead and support the show. All donations of $7 or more receive access to our premium site. Donations of $20 or more get access to our premium site. And they also get a coupon to download my ebook, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo, for free, as well as another gift. And these can include 2 half-hour Twilight Zone radio dramas, modern radio dramas produced with a wide variety of stars, recreating classic shows as well as adding a few new stories to the list. Episodes available include The Classic to Serve Man, The Obsolete Man, and Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Also available are several of the Colonial Theater dramas, and I do have a special announcement. Jerry Robbins at the Colonial Radio Theater has offered to let us share one of their radio dramas with you with their full permission and blessing, and we'll be doing so on a special show on Saturday, so be sure to be listening for that. Now it's time for today's episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of the Discordant Bells.
From New York City, the makers of Clipper Craft clothes for men and more than 1,200 leading retail stores from coast to coast present that immortal character created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes, starring John Stanley. This week's story, The Adventure of the Discordant Bells.
Listen to those bells, Holmes.
Yes, Watson, the historic Blandford bells. They've been ringing from that bell tower for 3 centuries.
Sounding out the curfew, eh, Holmes?
More than that, my dear fellow. They've warned of enemy ships at sea, of storm and danger.
Great Scott, Holmes, the bells there.
They're ringing out murder now, Watson. Quick to the bell tower.
Well, Dr. Watson, working late at your memoirs tonight, I see.
Yes, Mr. Harris. And on a particularly fascinating adventure, if I may say so. I call it The Adventure of the Discordant Bells.
Rather strange name, Dr. Watson.
Yes, it is indeed, and rather a strange case. To this day, Mr. Harris, I cannot hear the sound of tower bells without recalling vividly the peculiar events of this remarkable adventure.
And, Dr. Watson, you're going to tell us all about it.
I shall, Mr. Harris, I shall indeed. But suppose you begin by telling us some of the facts about Clipper Craft clothes.
Thank you, Doctor. You really ought to include America when you count your blessings on Thanksgiving Day, because America has made it so easy for you to afford the good things in life. No other country anywhere could give you suits that come near the superb quality of Clippercraft at only $40 and $45. But at Clippercraft, such miracles happen every day when more than 1,200 of this country's finest independent stores from coast to coast concentrate their mighty purchasing power. That calls for enormous quantities of fabric. That keeps every last member of Clippercraft's great tailoring staff working on a full-time, all-year-round production schedule. The savings would make you gasp. That's why your Clippercraft suit of luxurious worsted costs only $45. And why so many millions are taking advantage of Clippercraft's superior values in expensive-looking topcoats and overcoats. Yes, compare Clippercraft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, you were going to tell us of the adventure of the Discordant Bells.
So I was, Mr. Harris. And it begins properly near Eastbourne, at a place called Beachy Head on the Channel Coast in the South Downs country. There, atop a frowning cliff, stood Blandford Abbey, built by the first Lord Blandford centuries ago, along with the famous Blandford bells in the bell tower. These bells were not only historic, but priceless in a material sense, studded with jewels and encrusted with gold filigree. Then one afternoon, Lord Blandford and the Abbey trustee, Charles Easterly, were in council at the Abbey when they received a visitor.
My name is Aldgate, Lord Blandford. William Aldgate. You know the name?
Yes, Holgate. I know the name.
And well his lordship should, eh, Mr. Easterly?
Look here, Holgate. If you're going to enter that ridiculous family claim of yours to the Blandford bells...
They're mine, Lord Blandford. Do you hear? They're mine, by family right. My ancestor, Christopher Aldgate, cast those bells for Lord Peter Blandford in the 17th century. He was never paid for his work. He was cheated. Died in debtor's jail.
And I suppose you expect me to pay you for the bells, eh, Holgate?
My rightful inheritance, Lord Blandford. My father tried to collect it from your family, and my grandfather before him, and his father, too. But I'll not be put aside as they were.
Oh, won't you, Holgate? Well, let me tell you this. You have no legal right to collect anything, and I'll not submit to blackmail. Now get out.
Very well, Lord Blandford. But believe me, you'll regret this. You haven't heard the last of this yet.
A very unpleasant fellow, your lordship.
Yes, Easterly. That word unpleasant reminds me. I have a very unpleasant duty to perform at the bell tower this evening.
Yes?
I must tell Oliver Mudge, the bell ringer, that his services are no longer required.
But why? Why, your lordship, why? Why are you giving me the sack?
I'm sorry, Mudge, but your conduct forces me into it. Twice you've reported to the bell tower here in your cups, disgracefully drunk. And 3 times you have rung the curfew late.
But your lordship...
I don't propose to argue the point, Mudge. Tonight you ring the bells for the last time.
No, Lord Blandford, you'll not separate me from my beautiful children up there in the belfry. From father to son, my family has rung those bells ever since they was hung in the belfry. You can't give me the sack, you can't.
I can and I will, Mudge. I've already engaged a new bell ringer, Alfred Riggs. He'll be here tomorrow to take your place.
No, lordship, you lordship, no, please. You come, my babies up there, my wee babies. Your tongues are still. Come, little Davy, Big George, and beautiful Betty. Open your brown mouths and cry. Come, Big George, awake. Weep, my winsome Betty, weep, girl. Weep bitter tears, for this is our time of parting. Come, little Davy. And now, all of you, cry, cry. Sing a sad song, my beloved ones. Higher and higher. Move your tongues, my babies. Move your tongues. Pour your tears from your throats. I'll have my revenge, I will, if they steal you from me. Oliver Mudge, the bell ringer, will have his revenge.
Well, now, my bronze beauties up there, you've got a new master now. Me, Alfred Grigg, the best bell ringer in all of England. Just as soon as I can light this lantern, we'll ring out the curfew and...
Will you, Griggs?
Who's that? Who's there? In the bell tower. Who is it? I can't see. Oh! No! No! Take your hands away from my throat. I can't breathe. Oh, please. No.
Well, Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, I've given you what facts I possess. After the new bell ringer, Griggs, was found dead, and knowing that Lord Blandford was in mortal danger, I came post-haste to Baker Street here.
I see. A very wise decision, Mr. Easterly.
You say this bell ringer Griggs was found hanging from the center bell rope?
Yes, Dr. Watson.
And the official police, what's their view of this rather peculiar phenomenon, Mr. Easterly?
Suicide.
I see. But I take it you are not so sure.
Well, Mr. Holmes, in view of Holgate's claim to the bells and the attitude of the original bell ringer, Oliver Mudge.
Quite.
It seems to me, Holmes, a man like this bell ringer might resent getting the sack enough to...
We cannot spring to any conclusion at this time, my dear Watson. The first rule of investigation, ascertain the facts, then form the conclusion.
Then you'll come to Beachy Head and look into this situation, Mr. Holmes?
By all means. This particular problem has certain peculiar and bizarre facets that I find impossible to resist. Watson.
Yes, Holmes?
I believe there's a noon train for the South Downs country. We shall make it a point to be aboard.
Right, Holmes.
You will accompany us, Mr. Easterly?
No, Mr. Holmes. I have some rather urgent business here in London that will keep me overnight.
As you wish, Mr. Easterday. We shall meet you at Beachy Head tomorrow. Mr. Holmes, I had no idea that Mr. Easterly, our Abbey trustee, had summoned you here to Beachy Head. But now you have arrived, I bid you welcome.
Well, that's very kind of you, Lord Blandford. And I must say it was a very pleasant journey.
Lord Blandford.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
A few questions, if you please.
Why, of course.
Do you believe the verdict of the official police that Alfred Griggs hanged himself?
I have no reason to believe otherwise.
What about the bells, Your Lordship? I suppose they will remain silent now?
Not at all, Dr. Watson. For 3 centuries, the Blandford bells have rung every day. They have tolled their warning through the South Downs of danger, the call to arms, of public meetings for emergency. In calmer times, they have faithfully rung the curfew. And they will go on doing so.
Indeed? How?
The dead man's son, Peter Griggs, has courageously volunteered to step into the breach and replace his father. He will ring the bells for curfew tonight.
I see. But now, Lord Blandford, where can we find the discharged bell ringer, Oliver Mudge?
Well, I'm afraid you'll have some trouble there, Mr. Holmes. Mudge has disappeared.
Disappeared, eh?
Yes. The police visited his cottage yesterday and found the place empty.
Significant, don't you think, Holmes?
Perhaps, Watson, perhaps. And this man Holgate, the man who claims he owns the bells, where can we find him?
He lives on Perrick Lane, just above High Street.
Excellent. Come, Watson, we'll be off to Perrick Lane and have a few words with Mr. Holgate. Holgate, I take it you knew the original bell ringer, Oliver Mudge?
Aye, I knew him, Mr. Holmes.
Perhaps you could tell us where we might locate him.
I don't know that, Dr. Watson. I mind my own business, I do, and I let Mudge mind his.
And I presume your business is entering a claim to the Blandford bells.
Aye. But they should be called the Holgate bells, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I understand you approached Lord Blandford with your claim on several occasions.
Aye, so I have. I've approached his lordship. He's thrown me out of the Abbey every time he has.
And Mr. Easterly? I presume you talked to him, too?
I've done that, too. But him and Lord Blandford, they're 2 peas in a pod. And here I am, with not a shilling, and those bells up there worth a fortune.
Well, I must confess, Holgate, I can understand your feelings in this matter.
Aye, and they'll not take down the bells. They'll keep 'em up in the tower. Well, let 'em, says I. They won't sound a note, what with Alfred Griggs dead. They'll not ring now.
On the contrary, Holgate, they will.
Eh? What do you mean?
The dead man's son, Peter Griggs, has volunteered to stand by as bell ringer.
I see. Young Peter, eh?
Exactly. But come, Watson, we must be off.
Where to, Holmes?
It's rapidly getting dark, Watson, and I should like to inspect that bell tower.
Holmes?
Yes, Watson.
Where in blazes are we? No, it's so dark I can't see a thing.
We're very near the bell tower, Watson. In a few moments we shall pass through the Blandford graveyard at the rear of the Abbey and thence to the tower.
Graveyard indeed. I must confess it goes with the mood of those bells. Listen to them toll.
Yes. Mournful, aren't they, Watson?
Eerie is more like it, Holmes. They sound as though they're ringing out a funeral in the night.
Obviously they are. Young Griggs has taken this opportunity to ring out a requiem for his dead father.
Well, I wish he'd changed to something more cheerful, Holmes. That blasted tolling is beginning to get on my nerves. Holmes, great Scott! Listen to those bells!
Yes, Watson, something's gone wrong.
Sounds as though young Griggs has suddenly gone mad.
Quick, no time for talk now. To the bell tower. Here, Watson. Through this door. The only way to get into the bell tower.
Yes, right, Holmes. Holmes! Look! It's Peter Griggs. The bell ringer.
Yes, Watson. Hanging by his neck on the bell rope. Swinging back and forth. Like a grotesque pendulum.
When you stop to think of it, you have a lot to be grateful for here in America, especially the brilliant American ideas that are dreamed up just to give your hard-earned dollars greater value. Let's take one shining example. the Clippercraft plan. More than 1,200 fine independent stores from coast to coast participate in this plan. And it would stagger you to know how much money Clippercraft saves on production and distribution costs. But it is these very savings that make it possible for Clippercraft to give you the finer quality of expensive-looking top coats or overcoats for as little as $40 to $47.50. And it is because of these savings that you can own Clippercraft's new lightweight zipper-lining topcoats at incredibly low prices. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, topcoats, and overcoats. In Manhattan, Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
And now, let's return to our story, Dr. Watson.
Well, Mr. Harris, Holmes and I stood there for a moment, spellbound in horror, watching the limp figure hanging by the neck sway back and forth, in a wide arc in the bell tower, for all the world like a gruesome human pendulum. We'd seen no one enter or leave the bell tower. Then, while I held the bell ringer's lantern high, Holmes seized young Griggs's body and gently brought it to a stop. Then he pointed out,
Watson, this door is the only entrance or exit to the bell tower. Yet this bell ringer was strangled and hung upon that rope not 1 minute ago.
Holmes, you mean...
I mean that the murderer may still be in this bell tower.
What?
Watson, you have your service revolver with you?
Yes, I took it along, Holmes, but...
Give it to me.
But why?
Quick, Watson, your revolver.
Holmes, what are you going to do?
Hold that bell ringer's lantern high, Watson. I intend to climb that ladder and have a look into the belfry.
Did you see anyone up there, Holmes?
No, Watson, the belfry's empty.
Holmes, perhaps it was suicide after all.
Rubbish. We found the corpse swinging back and forth on a wide arc, did we not?
Oh, yes,
Then we may make an elementary deduction. A man who hanged himself on a rope would be found in a stationary position. Obviously, being dead and suspended in midair, he could not swing himself to and fro.
Jove, Holmes, it's quite clear now. Someone must have been present to give the corpse a push.
Exactly. A murderer, Watson, with a fiendish sense of the dramatic.
Holmes, what is it?
Look here, Watson, on the floor.
On the floor? Holmes, I can't say I see anything here.
Use your eyes, man, use your eyes. Observe. Note the tiny grains of sand on the stone surface, somewhat moist to the touch.
What of it?
You'll recall, Watson, that we came to this bell tower along a flagstone walk. Moreover, the entire abbey here is surrounded by a thick lawn. By this reasoning...
Holmes, someone is coming.
Yes, Watson.
Hello? Hello? Oh, it's you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson. I heard the bells, and I... Good Lord. Griggs. Young Peter Griggs. He's dead.
What?
How did it happen? How?
That is what we hope to ascertain, Miss Easterby. I must say that your appearance here is somewhat of a surprise.
What do you mean?
You told Watson and me at Baker Street that you would not return to Beachy Head until the morrow. It seems that your plans have suddenly changed.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I did finish early. Caught the night train back. But enough of that. It's these hideous murders. I assure you, Mr. Holmes, I shall have something extraordinary to say to Lord Blandford in the morning.
Up at last, eh, Watson?
Oh, good morning, Holmes. You seem to have left the hotel early.
I did indeed, Watson, and after reinforcing myself with an excellent breakfast of kippers, scrambled eggs, toast and marmalade and tea, I took the liberty of examining the Abbey premises in broad daylight.
And particularly the bell tower, I suppose.
On the contrary, Watson, I studiously avoided the bell tower. At the moment, surrounded by a crowd of the morbidly curious, and the local constables hard put to keep the onlookers at their distance. For my part, I found the graveyard adjacent to the tower far more interesting.
You did? Why, Holmes?
The stones and the main mausoleum itself are built entirely of sandstone. and housed the last remains of the Blandford family far back into antiquity. After that, I visited the bank and exchanged amenities with several of the local tradesmen.
Oh, dash it, Holmes, you sound like a tourist with a Baedeker. After all, we're dealing with murder here, you know.
Come in.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson?
Yes?
My name is Whitford, sir. Coachman in the service of Lord Blandford.
Well?
His Lordship requests your presence at the Abbey, sir, on a matter of urgent importance.
Mr. Holmes, I have decided to ask Dr. Watson yourself not to pursue this case any longer.
Have you indeed, Lord Blandford? May I ask why?
I do this only at the earnest recommendation of Mr. Easterly, the Abbey trustee. He insists that I close the Blandford bell tower, remove the bells.
You mean silence them forever, your lordship?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Rather sudden decision, I must say.
True, Mr. Holmes, true. But these tragedies, they've been too much. We've just been forced to rope off the grounds to keep the morbidly curious at their distance. The bell tower's become a house of murder. Death. What is it, Mr. Holmes? What are you staring at?
Watson, allow me the use of your pocket handkerchief.
Of course, Holmes.
Lord Blandford seems to have a red smudge on his left shoulder. Came off quite easily.
Oh, really, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, forgive the interruption, your lordship. That smudge was a jarring note in an otherwise fastidious appearance. Pray proceed. You said you were going to...
What? Great heavens.
Holmes, listen. The bells.
Yes, Watson. It seems that the tower has a new bell ringer after all.
Oh, I don't understand it. Who could be ringing those bells?
Suppose we hurry to the bell tower and see for ourselves, your lordship.
Here we are, Holmes.
Yes, Watson, we'll be inside the tower in a moment.
Well, I don't understand it, Mr. Holmes. I don't understand it. Who could be ringing those bells?
We shall see the moment we walk through this door. Whoever it is, it's obviously a professional.
Why, it's Mudge. Oliver Mudge.
Interesting, Lord Blandford. Steady. The original bell ringer comes back to roost.
Mudge! Mudge! Let those bells alone, do you hear?
No! No! You'll not drive me away this time, your lordship. You'll not drive me away from my children. I heard you were going to take them down from the tower, but I'll not let you do it. Will I, my children?
Mudge, I order you to drop those bell ropes.
Oh, my babies, open your bronze mouths. Ring, sing, crying to the countryside. They'll never take you away from me, will they now? Higher and higher, my golden beauties. Tell them you'll stay. Tell them you'll never leave this tower.
Mudge, look out! Holmes!
The center bell, the big one is falling.
Mudge. Mudge. Mr. Holmes, is he...
Dead? Yes, your lordship, he is indeed. That heavy bell hurtling downward hit Mudge a solid blow, killed him instantly.
What the deuce is going on? This is the third time a man has been struck down in this tower. Holmes, where are you going?
Up into the belfry, Watson. And this time I hope to find some very pertinent answers to this hideous riddle.
Holmes! I say up there, Holmes!
Yes, Watson.
Found anything up there in the belfry?
I had indeed, Watson. First of all, the fiend responsible for these monstrous crimes used a hacksaw on the metal support of the big center bell. Sawed it almost completely through.
Anything else up there, Mr. Holmes?
Yes. Yes, indeed, Lord Blandford.
What is it?
The murderer left his footprints in the dust of the belfry. And in doing so, your lordship, I might add, he left his death warrant. Watson.
Yes, Holmes?
We'll return to the belfry here tomorrow morning with the proper apparatus to take casts of these footprints. After that, I'm willing to wager that the villain will be apprehended and the case closed.
Well, Holmes, where the deuce have you been all evening? You've been gone from the inn since late this afternoon.
I've been making the rounds of every pub in Beachy Head, Watson.
Every pub. In the name of heaven, Holmes, why?
Not to quaff the native ale, I assure you, Watson, but rather to disseminate gossip and spread news. By this time, my dear fellow, there's not a man, woman, or child who does not know those footprints in the Tower belfry.
Yeah, but dash it, Holmes, you warned the criminal that we're going to take casts of his footprints tomorrow.
Precisely, Watson. And that's why you and I are going to visit Blandford Bell Tower tonight.
Holmes,
I mean, the fiend of the bell tower will be there tonight to wipe away the evidence before we get there in the morning. But we shall steal a march on him, my dear fellow. We shall be waiting there in the dark of the night to meet him.
Oh, it's 3 o'clock, Holmes.
It is indeed, Watson.
Friend hasn't appeared as yet. I must say, Holmes, I'm getting juicy tired lying prone on this belfry floor. If you had some idea who this fellow is...
I have, Watson. His identity is quite obvious. So, too, is his method of exit and entrance into this tower. And so is his motive for these hideous crimes.
Well, then, dash it, Holmes, why don't you tell me?
Watson, quiet.
Holmes.
Our friend is alive, Watson. You have your revolver ready?
Yes, Holmes, I have.
We'll be climbing the ladder up here to the belfry in a moment.
Here he comes up the ladder.
Yes, Watson. Shrink back against the wall.
Yes.
Stand where you are, Lord Blanford.
What? By Jove, Blanford!
Don't move, your lordship. Dr. Watson has a revolver pointed at you, and I assure you he'll use it if necessary.
I see. Then you know that I...
Yes, Lord Blanford, I knew some time ago.
But how? How? I thought I'd...
The ego of the criminal mind, your lordship. Your crimes were far from perfect to a careful analyst. First of all, you were careless enough to leave grains of sand on the floor. Moist sand. That sand could not have come from the ground, since they consisted entirely of lawn and flagstone walks.
Yes, but Holmes, I don't understand.
Elementary, my dear Watson, elementary. Moist sand meant sand from underground. We did not see his lordship come out of the doorway, you recall. Therefore, he must have left the tower from within, through some sort of tunnel dug underground. And I believe there is a tunnel leading into this tower from the mausoleum. Is there not, Lord Blanford? You hid in your ancestors' mausoleum, came in through the tunnel, hanged those unfortunate bell ringers, and returned to the mausoleum.
How did you know I was in the mausoleum?
The tomb is of soft red sandstone. And you had a red smudge on your shoulder, which I wiped off on Dr. Watson's handkerchief here. That smudge also proved to be sandstone.
Lord Blanford, why did you commit these horrible acts?
Money, Dr. Watson. I needed money.
Yes, so I ascertained at the bank and by talking to various tradesmen here in the village, your lordship. You were heavily in debt through some unfortunate stock transactions, and you needed to recoup.
Oh, the bells. That was the answer, do you hear? The bells. If I could get them out of the tower, they'd be mine. I could sell them for thousands of pounds.
But you couldn't dismantle the bells without facing an aroused citizenry, could you, Lord Blanford? You knew the South Downs folk would never let you tear down that tower, so dear to them by tradition.
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
So you fell upon this fiendish scheme to make the tower a death trap, and thus have a legitimate excuse to dismantle the Blanford bells.
Oh, yes. I counted upon the notoriety.
Watson.
Yes, Holmes?
Go to the village and get a constable. I'll wait here with Lord Blanford. And I promise him all the notoriety he wants. In every newspaper in England.
Well, Dr. Watson, that certainly was an exciting adventure.
Yes, Mr. Harris. I might add here that Holmes was true to his promise. Lord Blanford's photograph appeared in every newspaper in Britain, and he was speedily sentenced and sent to the gallows.
And the Blanford bells, Doctor?
As far as I know, Mr. Harris, they are still ringing out the curfew at Beachy Head to this very day.
I see. Well, what about next week's adventure, Dr. Watson?
Well, next week, I shall relate to you the case of the well-advertised murder. It concerns a woman's desperate fight to keep from becoming a homicidal maniac.
The makers of Clippercraft clothes and more than 1,200 stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and the program is produced and directed by Basil Lockridge. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by George Selden. This week's story was written by Max Ehrlich, with special music by Albert Berman. don't know your Clippercraft dealer, write Clippercraft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next week to Sherlock Holmes in The Case of the Well-Advertised Murder. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clippercraft Clothes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Stay with us for Behind the Front Page with Gabriel Heater, which follows in a moment.
Welcome back. You know, there are many companies that knew how to do advertising and connect with an audience during the golden age of radio. Clippercraft Clothes, unfortunately, was not one of them. I was listening to that ad, when they started at the beginning where they were kind of talking about Thanksgiving and things to be thankful for. And I got a warm fuzzy feeling like, well, this is nice. Maybe I should have played this around Thanksgiving. And then I learned what Americans needed to be grateful for was America, because it gave them the opportunity to buy inexpensive clothes. And that kind of ruined it. I get 3 years after World War II, there was a lot of rationing. So clothes may not have been available as inexpensively, and there was a lot of rationing going on, and that was over from the wartime. But still, I don't know quite how that would have connected with audiences back then. I would think, particularly if I'd had much of an impact had on my life due to the war, I'd probably be more, even a few years later, thankful that to have family and friends at home, and the cheap top coat would probably not end up in the top 10. And the plot itself, kind of average. I'm just looking ahead because they usually do a fairly good job when they adapt the Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes story, and we've got a few of those coming up this season, so I'm looking forward to those. So, we do turn out listener comments and feedback. Aaron sends along some great suggestions for the show. I'm gonna adopt 2 of them. I won't read through all of them. There aren't any bad ideas here, just some that work kind of with my personality, and some that don't. A couple things that he suggested. Offer a chance to sponsor the intro on the show one day, and the sponsor could call in and record part of it themselves. That's a good idea. So I've added that as an option at Aaron's suggestion. That is optional. So if you give $100 or more now, or if you've given it on one of the previous days and you'd like to do it, you can go ahead and briefly introduce one of the programs. So I might say, this is Adam Graham in Boise, Idaho, introducing today's episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of the Discordant Bell from November 21st, 1948. Aaron also suggests, I listen to several other podcasts, and some are asking listeners to tell a friend. The pitch goes something like this. We appreciate your support of the show, and since you like it, please tell a friend to help the show grow. And good idea, and I'll try to remember to do that every now and again. I know some folks already do, but it definitely helps the show grow, and people have greater opportunities to be able to listen and to enjoy it. So if you know any friends you think might be interested, let them know. I can go to greatdetectives.net to subscribe. And Aaron, thank you so much for all your suggestions, and I appreciate all of them and the time you took to get those together. Michael emails in, and he says he offers recommendations for a couple shows. On a side note, 2 shows I would recommend are Crime and Peter Chambers and The Voyage of the Scarlet Queen. I know that Scarlet Queen doesn't strictly fall into the detective genre, but it falls into shows or stories that are essentially detective stories that aren't portrayed by detectives. Pat Novak and Pete Kelly's Blues are in the same boat. Very clever pun there. Walter Mosley's Easy Rollin' stories fall into that camp as well. his character Easy is not a detective, but the story is. Well, I'll tell you regarding Scarlet Queen, some of the episodes really resemble detective stories. Some are really just straight adventure stories. On one, they land on an island, they're kidnapped by a villain who they know who it is, and they've got to deal with a hurricane. Not really a detective story there. But I've heard from a couple, 3 listeners interested in Voyage of the Scarlet Queen. And I'll listen to you as we get more feedback in. We've got a strong interest of this series, particularly once we get through some more of the stricter detective mystery shows. I'll give some consideration to that. If we've got listeners saying, play Voyage of the Scarlet Queen, and it's a show the listeners love, it's a show the host loves, I think we got to take a look at it. But probably not for a couple of years yet. Like I said, I will keep it under consideration. I'll continue to listen to the feedback listeners provide. And I still hold out some hope we might end up doing an old-time radio adventure show, where we might, say, go through one adventure series at a time. And if we did that, I can tell you that Voyage of the Scarlet Queen would be right near the top of the shows we would do. So I will keep listening to you guys on that. And thanks for that feedback. It goes on to say, another one I'm not a fan of are slow-moving documentary-style police shows that relay the story but don't have a sense of detection or don't make the listener question what next. Some of these are crime dramas without much of a sense of drama. Per Peter Chambers, from the few I've heard, he's a classic hard-boiled detective. The plot seems to work well, too. I also like that Hammer Guys. But all the ones I've heard, the audio is fairly rough. Well, thanks, Michael, on both of those counts. Always appreciate hearing, what type of shows people might want next. Now, some of the bigger programs, like the Sam Spades, the Richard Diamonds, the Philip Marlowes, are going to be a little bit harder to do immediately, because many of the more popular shows have got 70, 90, 100 episodes in circulation. So we have to find a lot of space for them. But both the shows that Michael mentioned, both of them have got less than 25 episodes out there. And we've already kind of mapped out what we're going to play in the 2012-2013 season. But the feedback you provide us will really can help shape, particularly around those shows where there aren't so many episodes out there. If we hear listeners suggesting something, I'll definitely make an effort to see what we can do to get them in the next year's rotation of shows for the shorter shows we do. All right, well, thanks so much. Appreciate your comment, Michael, and we will we will be back on... Oh, I almost forgot one point. Regarding boring police shows, I want to assure you that I'm definitely not a fan of the boring programs. In fact, when I discussed doing police procedurals on the show, there aren't a whole lot that are real, true detective shows. I've identified a grand total of 4, that are, I think really would fit in fairly well with our program. And I think most of the others, there's a lack of dramatic tension, and we oftentimes don't even get to see the good guys in action consistently. The only one of those series that I really like that's more crime drama as a procedural is This Is Your FBI, which is just so incredibly well done, acted, and directed. And I absolutely love the series, even though that's not usually the case with those sort of procedurals. So I definitely will avoid those type of shows. All right. Well, that's all for now. See you tomorrow with yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and then join us back here on Thursday for Sherlock Holmes. Well, I do want to thank those who have given in our listener support campaign. You can support the show at support.greatdetectives.net, and we really appreciate your support of our efforts. All donations of $7 or more receive access to our premium site, and donations of $20 or more also are eligible for a special thank you gift, which could include any of a number of colonial radio theater dramas. Among those available are King Solomon's Mine. This is probably one of the great adventure stories of all times, and Colonial did a great job producing its very faithful adaptation, packed with excitement and adventure. I absolutely love King Solomon's Mine, and it is among those that are available as a thank you at the $20 level, so go to support.greatdetectives.net to learn more. But we've talked a lot about listener support campaign options. We're going to get into today's show. It's time now for the Nathan Gayles Matter.
For your listening enjoyment, John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Who's that bishop, Johnny?
Hold on, Mr. Bishop.
Are you employed?
No, not right now.
Good. Company insures a Lieutenant Gayles, New York Police. Was killed yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I read about it. Shot in his garage.
See what you can find out.
Who's handling the case?
Sergeant Kemper, 15th Precinct. He was Gayles' partner.
How about taking a minute or so to talk about seals and fish that have some connection with the government of the United States? Now, that isn't as strange as it sounds. You take the matter of seals, for example. There are two types of seals that are the responsibility of the Secretary of State. First, there's the Great Seal of the United States, which is stamped on all official documents. The Secretary of State makes sure it's always on hand when it's needed. The other kind of seals he takes care of are the ones that swim in the ocean, since it's up to the Secretary to work out agreements with representatives of other countries and let them know how many seals can be caught in what is called international waters and when. The Secretary of State works out similar deals for the catching of fish and lobsters because these agreements are actually treaties. Before they can be put into effect, they have to be approved by 2/3 of the Senate. As a matter of fact, any time our government wants to work out a deal with a foreign country on trade, mutual assistance, fish, seals, or lobsters, it's done by treaty. And all treaties are signed by the President, though some of them aren't drawn up until after the Secretary of State has worked over the rough spots in order to pave the way for prompt ratification. So, just remember, the Secretary of State is a mighty important wheel in the machinery of your United States government.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Great Eastern Life Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Nathan Gayles matter. Expense account item 1, $23.55. Train fare and incidentals from Hartford to New York City. Expense account item 2, 75 cents. Cab fare to the hotel. I registered and put in a call to Sergeant William Kemper at the 15th Precinct Police Station. Kemper said I could stop down anytime. So in 20 minutes, I was sitting in the homicide squad room, listening to Sergeant Kemper's version of the killing of a fellow police officer.
Nate had been after a hood named Bancroft for a long time. Word was out that Bancroft had finally gotten a little tired of it and was going to hit Nate the first chance he got.
You think Bancroft killed him?
Yeah, but so far we can't prove it. The day Nate was killed, he called in and told me he was onto something hot. Said it concerned Bancroft. Told me to meet him at his house in an hour. Said he was contacting a stoolie named Virgil Cummins. Hi. Hello, Dave. Anything for me? I don't think so.
You have any idea what he was supposed to get from this Virgil Cummins?
No, he didn't say just what it was, but he indicated it was a big score. Enough to fry Bancroft for keeps. I went to his house in an hour, like he'd asked, and I found him in the garage, shot twice.
No witnesses?
Yeah, a neighbor, George Fisher, said he saw a man running away. We brought him down here and showed him the mugs. We picked out Bancroft.
Well, then...
We picked Bancroft up, put him in the lineup, and the witness changed his mind. Said Bancroft wasn't the man after all.
Somebody got to him, huh?
Of course. But the witness won't change his story again. He insists that Bancroft's not the man he saw running away, and that's that. He's scared stiff. Got a wife and 4 kids.
Has Bancroft got an alibi?
Says he was with his girl at the time of the killing.
And his girl agrees?
100%. We questioned them both for hours.
What about the stoolie? Coming.
I went looking for him right away. Yeah. Didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay.
Hey, Bed, come in. Tell him I'm down in Basker's office.
Oh, yeah.
So we found Cummins all right. Found him in his room, strangled by a light cord.
Whoever shot Gale got the evidence.
Sure. So it's got to be Bancroft. But without the stoolie, we can't prove there was any evidence. Bancroft's girl swears Bancroft was with her the whole afternoon.
And your only witness won't identify Bancroft.
That's the way it stands so far. But I'm working on that witness. I'm going to keep working on him until he admits Bancroft's the man.
Well, I've got to go talk to Gale's widow.
Oh, Ab's taking it pretty good. She's a wonderful person. You'll like her.
I'm sure I will. Well, so long, Sergeant. I'll keep in touch with you. Expense account item 3. $1.75 cab fare to the Gale home. I introduced myself to Mrs. Evelyn Gale, the dead officer's widow. She showed me into a small, attractively furnished house where I met her 2 children, Greg, 5, and Mike, 3.5. She told the boys to go out in the tiny backyard and play until we were finished talking.
Don't you think the father's gone away on a trip? They're too young now to really understand. Greg would understand in a way, but it'd be too hard on him. When they get older, they won't miss their father so much. It'll be easier to tell him.
Yeah.
You said you talked to Bill Kemp?
Yes, I just left him about half an hour ago.
He and Nate were partners for a long time. I think Nate still hates Bill just about as much as he did me. But you want to talk about insurance, don't you?
Just a few questions and I'll get out of here.
Cool.
Tell me a little something about the day your husband was killed.
Well, there was nothing particularly unusual about it. It was like most any day, except that it was our anniversary.
He didn't say anything or tell you anything that was unusual?
I don't think so. I would have remembered if he had.
Did he call you during the day?
No.
What time did you expect him home?
He was off duty at 6. He had the day watch. He was usually home around 6:30.
Were you here in the house when he drove into the garage?
No. I was down at the corner, the grocery store. When I got back, Bill was waiting for me. I saw the other officers around the garage, and then the ambulance pulled up.
Where were the children?
With their grandmother, Nate's mother. I left them with her around 4 that afternoon. Nate and I were going to have dinner and go to a show. Celebrate the anniversary. It was our 7th.
Do you know George Fisher?
Yes, he lives across the street in the White House. I've spoken with him since. He's avoided me, but I saw him this morning backing out his car, and I went over and talked to him.
He says he saw the killer.
He told the police he saw a man running away from our garage right after the shot. He made an identification.
Yes, I know about it. Bill Kemper told me he changed his story.
Yes.
Do you think he can really identify the killer?
I think so, but he's so frightened. Oh, I don't blame him. He has a family and he wants to protect them.
What did you say to him?
Well, I told him that I understood, but that he should make an identification if he could. I told him that protecting a killer isn't the way to protect your family.
But he wouldn't listen.
No. I really wonder what I'd do in his position. George has a lovely wife and 4 adorable children. I don't know.
Well, I think I'll have a talk with Fisher.
I doubt if it can do any good. Bill's worked on him and worked on him. The whole department's trying to get an identification or a statement.
Well, I'll have a shot at it anyway. Thank you, Mrs. Gale. I went across the street to the Fisher house and spoke with his wife. She told me her husband was still at work, wasn't expected home until 6:30. She refused to tell me where her husband worked, stating they'd been bothered entirely too much since the Gale killing. It was obvious she also was frightened. Very frightened. Expense account item 4, $1.25, cab fare back to my hotel, where I put in a call to Sergeant Bill Kemper to ask where George Fisher worked. Kemper was out, so I left my number and went downstairs to have some lunch. Around 1:30, I was paged and told that Kemper was waiting for me in the lobby. Hello, Johnny. Oh, hi. You got my call?
Yeah. Go over and sit down where we can talk.
Oh, sure. I called to find out where George Fisher works.
He doesn't work anywhere anymore.
What do you mean?
He was killed about an hour ago. Let's sit down.
Murdered?
Hit and run. On his way to lunch with 2 men from his office. They were crossing the street and a car hit them.
All of them?
Killed Fisher, hurt both of the men, one pretty seriously.
Any witnesses?
Yes. Got a positive identification on the car, got the license number. Even found the car.
But not the driver.
No. Found the car parked on the east side of town. It had been reported stolen at 8 o'clock this morning.
Bancroft?
First thing I checked on. Guess.
He was with his girl.
All afternoon.
What about 8 o'clock this morning?
Claims he was found asleep in bed.
And was he?
When we checked his hotel, nobody can swear he wasn't. He left a call for 11. Nobody saw him leave the hotel before then. A number of people saw him come in last night.
Well, maybe he didn't do it.
Maybe he didn't. But it sure seems funny. The one man who could identify Bancroft as the man seen running away from Nate's garage should get killed a couple of days later.
Did you find anything in the car?
Well, the lab's checking on the car now.
Did the witnesses say whether a man was driving it or not?
Yeah, they said it was a man. Couldn't see him well enough for identification. Wore a hat.
Well, maybe he had somebody steal the car for him, left the hotel at 11, took the car, and went after Fisher.
Looks like the only possibility.
But his girl had stolen it.
No. She was in her apartment, definitely.
And Bancroft was with her from 11 until when?
A little while ago. That's where we picked him up. Desk clerk swears Bancroft came in a little after 11 and didn't see him go out.
Did he have to pass the desk clerk to go out?
If he took the stairs. If he took the elevator, one of the elevator boys would have seen him. None of them did.
Well, you got a tough one.
That's why I wanted to talk to you. I know Bancroft killed Nate. Maybe he didn't run down Fisher, but I'll bet he had something to do with it. Now, the strongest and the weakest link is his girlfriend.
Now, what do you want me to do?
And just before we got the report on Fisher's death, another call came in. It was from a jeweler. The day Nate was killed was his 7th anniversary.
Yeah, Mrs. Gayles told me.
Well, the jeweler told me that Nate had been in looking at watches. He told me Nate couldn't make up his mind between two of them, so the jeweler told him to take them home and let Eve decide. He took them.
Was this before or after he made the contact with the steward?
Before. Must have had them with him when he saw it coming.
Did he have them with him when you found him in his garage?
No. So it looks like the killer took them. I remember the glove compartment was open. Nate probably had him in there. Killer got the evidence and looked in the glove compartment to make sure he didn't miss anything. Saw the watches, took them along.
You think Bancroft might have given them to his girl?
He might. Or he might have pawned them. I got out the usual bulletins to all the pawn shops, and we were checking every fence we know of. They were fairly expensive watches. In the description.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you just get a warrant and search the girl's apartment?
I thought about it, but if Bancroft gave her one or both of the watches, he's smart enough to tell her not to wear them or have them around. You find the watches, even one watch, and connect them to Bancroft or Betty Holmes.
That's the girlfriend.
Yeah. Johnny, do you think you could find out if she's got one of those watches?
Me? Well, how would I do that?
Get close enough to her. Well, you won't mind. She's a darned attractive dame, if you like the type.
Well, I guess I could try. So what about Bancroft?
I'll get him out of the way. But I can't keep him forever. You'll have to impress her in a hurry.
Well, maybe she doesn't want to be impressed.
She likes men with money. Lots of money.
Sergeant, I hate to tell you this,
You
but...
just put up a good front. We'll figure a way for you to meet her, and we'll make sure she knows you're loaded.
Okay, but if someone gets careless and asks me to change 4 bits, the whole plan goes right out the window.
With your permission, there's something I'd like to talk about for a minute. You know, too many times people try to escape from their responsibilities by having someone else take them over. There was Miles Standish, for example. He was much too busy to ask Priscilla to marry him, so he sent John Alden to pop the question for him. You know what happened. John ended up marrying the girl himself. Of course, if John had had a face like a flat tire instead of being the handsome guy he was, maybe Miles Standish would have married Priscilla instead. Well, actually, I don't know what got me started on this subject, and unless it was my thinking about people who represent somebody else. Take our State Department, for example. Being a representative is one of its biggest jobs. Through the Foreign Service, it helps the Justice and Treasury Departments handle immigration, narcotics, and quarantine problems. And the Secretaries of Agriculture and Commerce look to the Secretary of State to help keep their fingers on the pulse of foreign markets so they can keep the business firms and farmers of America informed on matters of import and export. I guess the only connection between these facts and the courtship of Miles Standish is that, like John Alden, our State Department speaks for itself.
And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
Sergeant Kemper made arrangements for me to move into another hotel, where Johnny Dollar, the insurance man, would be known as Johnny Dollar, the Texas oil man. Kemper got me a fancy pair of boots and a 10-gallon Stetson. I was all ready to turn the lovely Betty's head. The men who were tailing her reported to Kemper that she was shopping at Meshakoff's Fur Salon on Fifth Avenue. Kemper immediately put out a call to pick up her boyfriend, and Kemper and I left for the Fifth Avenue shop. When we got there, Kemper pointed out the quarry, and I went to work. She was trying on a mink stole when I walked up to the sales lady.
Oh, it's just lovely. Yummy. Yes, that's one of our nicer stores.
It's ranch mink, isn't it?
Yes, but if you prefer...
Oh, well, no, I'm just looking, but I'll probably be in next week and buy something.
Certainly. Oh, yes, sir. Can I help you?
Well, yeah, I thought I'd like to buy a fur coat or something like that.
Would you excuse me?
Oh, sure. Go right ahead. I'll just look around.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to bust up nothing.
That's all right.
The lady's just looking.
Well, okay. You sure you don't mind?
Not a bit.
Sir, what kind of fur coat would you like?
Well, I'd like something real nice. I'm just in New York for a couple of days. I'd like to bring my mama back a little present.
You're from Texas?
Why, yes, ma'am. How'd you know?
Well, I can always tell Texas man. So tall and strong.
Oh.
Would you like something in mink?
Yeah, I like the mink, too. Oh, boy, I'm having just a wonderful time here in New York.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
First vacation I had since 43. Just been too busy with the whales.
That's oil well?
Don't buy mink coats with water, lady.
Well, what about this lovely stole the young lady was just trying on?
Well, no, ma'am. It's too skimpy. I want something can keep Mama warm. She ain't spry like she used to be. Can't take the winters too good no more. Something that hangs down to the floor. You know, coat.
Yes, sir. Well, if you excuse me, I bring out a few that you can look at.
Fine. You just take your time.
Pardon me.
For what?
Well, I couldn't help it over here.
Oh, that's all right. I ain't gonna buy this one, ma'am. You can have it.
Oh, no. I just thought maybe I could help you a little. I do a lot of buying here, and I know you're from out of town.
Texas.
Yes. And, well, if you're going to buy a mink coat for your wife...
For my mama. I ain't married, ma'am.
Oh. Well, have you ever bought a mink coat before?
Why, no, ma'am. Only mink I own is in my car back home.
In your car?
Yes, sir. Mama thought it'd be nice to upholster it that way.
In mink?
Oh, I know it ain't practical, but Mama thought it looked nice. Does, too. Goes right nice with the gold.
The gold?
Yeah, you know, the door handles, cigarette lighter, a lot of little things like that.
Oh, yes. Well, what kind of car is it?
Well, it's a sort of a double-length Cadillac. Had it built special.
How nice.
Yes, it's nice.
Well, the only reason I came over was because I thought as long as you were from out of town.
Texas.
Texas. Yes, well, I thought maybe you'd like someone to help you pick out the right thing.
Well, now, I think that's right thoughty of you, ma'am. But I don't want to put you into no trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble.
Oh, good. My name is Dollar.
My name's Holmes. Betty Holmes.
Well, howdy. You can just call me Johnny. That's my front name.
All right, Johnny. Oh, here comes the sales lady.
We looked at mink for the next hour, and Betty Holmes offered her most discriminating advice. Before we left, I'd ordered Mama 2 mink coats, one for just setting and one for going out. On the street, I thanked Betty for her help, and naturally, she accepted my dinner invitation on the spot. Expense account item 5, $1.40 cab fare back to my hotel, where I waited until Bill Kemper showed up. Pretty funny, huh?
I couldn't hear what was going on, but I had to stay out of sight because she knows me. But, boy, you were really pretty awful.
Yeah, I know, but she loved it. I'm going to have dinner with her.
Good.
What about Bancroft?
Now, we got him. We'll keep questioning him. If his lawyer gets a writ, we'll move him to another precinct.
How long can you keep that up?
Long enough for you to have dinner and get better acquainted.
I hate to pick her up in a cab.
Don't worry about it. What time's your date?
8 o'clock.
I'll have you a limousine, complete with chauffeur. Officer Denker. We'll get one of the cars we use for parades and VIPs.
Boy, if this backfires, they'll hear the explosion clear up in Maine. The long black limousine was waiting in front, complete with Officer Danker, dressed as my chauffeur. We picked the lovely Betty Holmes up at 8 and drove to 21, where I ran up expense account item 6, $45.95. Drinks, dinner, and a pack of cigarettes. When she suggested going to some of the night spots, I felt you in the home office cringe, so I complained of fatigue. I told her I'd been working so hard in the oil fields that the Mayo Clinic had advised me to stay away from too much nightlife. She gave me a motherly, knowing smile and suggested we return to her apartment, where she'd fix me a glass of warm milk. She was very understanding.
Here you are, Johnny. Not too hot, not too cold. Better for your stomach that way.
Well, you're a pretty wonderful person.
Mind if I sit down?
Oh, please do. You know, I never met any girls like you before. Now, when I told you I couldn't go to any of them there clubs, why, you didn't mind one bit.
I understand.
Oh, Mama sure would like you. The last thing she said before I left was, Johnny boy, you watch out there in that big city.
Watch out for girls like me.
Oh, no, not like you. You see, Mama thinks every girl is just out after my money.
There are some nice girls left in the world, Johnny.
Why, sure. And you're one of them. Well, you got a nice place to live, nice clothes. I guess you got everything you want.
Yes, I guess I've got just about everything a girl would want, but I've never met the right man. Someone I could really settle down with, make a good home.
Oh, that's too bad. I guess it ain't easy living in a big city like this.
No. But someday I'd like to get back to the farm.
The farm?
Yes, I was raised on a farm. That's the life.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Oh, the cows and the chickens.
Well, we ain't got them no more. Just a lot of oil wells.
But it's still a farm.
Well, more like a refinery with beds.
But it's out in the wide open spaces.
Yeah, but all you can see is them blasted oil wells.
Oh, the rugged life, full of the great outdoors, the smell of the sagebrush.
No, just oil.
But you love it.
Yeah. But say, what time is it? I must have left my watch in my suite.
Oh, well, I don't have a watch. There's a clock in the kitchen.
You ain't got a watch?
No, why?
Well, I'm in luck, I sure am.
What?
Well, you've been so nice to me. Helped me pick out those coats for Mama. I've been trying to think of something I could buy for you.
Oh, now, Johnny.
No, I want to. I've seen the things you're wearing tonight. Got that nice mink and all that there jewelry, but you ain't got no watch.
Please, I really don't.
No, when I want to do something, ain't no use trying to talk me out of it. I'm going out tomorrow morning and buy you one fine watch.
Oh, that's really wonderful.
Oh, it ain't nothing.
Johnny.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't really mind. Kind of like it. Well, about the watch. Where's a good place to get a nice watch?
Well, there's... No. Wait a minute. Johnny, would you like a really nice watch? I don't mean it's too expensive.
Oh, I don't care about that. Can't pay too much for a watch.
How much would you want to pay?
Well, I want to get you something real nice.
Well, I know a friend. He's in the jewelry business. He's got several beautiful watches. I know him very well. And he'll sell them wholesale.
Well, you're really pretty wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Always thinking of me.
I could send him over to your hotel.
Well, why don't you just do that?
All right, I'll call him and I'll have him stop by tomorrow.
Good. Now, I'd like to ask you a little favor.
Yes, Johnny?
Could I?
Yes.
Well, could I?
Johnny?
Could I have some more milk? When I I got back to my hotel, Bill Kemper was waiting for me in my room. I told him everything that had happened. Kemper put in a call to the precinct and ordered Bancroft's release. Then he said goodnight, and I turned in. The next morning, Kemper was knocking at my door, and we settled down with breakfast to wait for Bancroft to arrive with the watches.
Yeah, it's good coffee, Johnny.
Yeah, it is. Hey, maybe this is it. Hello?
Johnny?
Well, good morning.
I didn't wake you up, did I?
Oh, no, I've been up since 6. Can't get out of the habit.
Oh, good. Well, the reason I called, Johnny, the man who was going to bring the watches by,
Yeah?
well, he can't.
Oh, that's too bad.
But he gave them to me. I can bring them by if you want.
It was a sure bet Bancroft was playing it safe. He wanted to unload the dangerous watches, but he didn't want to be the one to do it. We cleared the table of Kemper's breakfast dishes, and a half hour later, Betty Holmes was announced from the lobby. Bill Kemper went in the bedroom to wait. Well, good morning again.
Good morning, Johnny.
You sure do look nice. Come on over and sit down and have some coffee.
Oh, I'd love some coffee. I didn't particularly want to bring the watches myself, but my friend was busy.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
He gave me the prices and everything.
Well, let's see him.
All right.
Oh, they're right pretty. Mm-hmm.
Now, this one, he wants $700.
Mm-hmm. And how much for this one?
He said that one wasn't as expensive, only $500.
That's, wholesale, hmm?
Oh, yes. He said they're very unusual watches.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Johnny? Something wrong?
Yeah. Bill?
Well, what is it? What's going on?
Oh, Betty.
What is all this?
Don't you know? These are the watches, Bill. I thought they...
Why, you crummy, no-good, rotten...
Just take it easy.
You're a cop.
No, not quite.
You can't get away with this. You don't have anything on me. Give me those watches.
Now, wait a minute. Who gave you these watches?
You can't pinch me. You haven't got
I
anything...
got all I need. I got the watches that were taken out of Nathan Gayles' glove compartment right after he was murdered.
I don't know anything about it. The guy just gave me the watches.
Oh, Bancroft? Okay. And you're going to take the rap.
I don't know anything about it. You know I didn't have anything to do with Gayle's death. You know I was in my apartment.
These watches are all I need. They'll send you right up.
No.
Then tell me who killed Gayles.
Bancroft.
How did he get out of your apartment without anyone seeing him?
The service elevator. But I didn't have anything to do with it.
Did he kill Fisher?
Yes. He was afraid Fisher had talked.
Who stole the car? Who stole it?
I did, but he killed Fisher. He killed Gale and Fisher, and I didn't have anything to do with it.
You had enough to do with it to get your life. Come on. I'm going to book you and then get me a cop killer. See you later, Johnny. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks. You all.
Expense account item 7, $135. Hotel bills. Item 8, $25.35. Train fare and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total, $235 even. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Well, howdy, partner. This is Texas Adam. Welcome back. Really, this was kind of one of the oddest episodes of Johnny Dollar we've heard so far. Because I think at the end that the whole Texas thing was meant to be humorous. If that was the case, it was kind of out of nowhere. The episode had been pretty serious and straightforward, and even dramatic, as you're dealing with the death of a police officer and the feelings his family are going through and all that. And then we get this, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get Johnny Dollar doing this really bad Texas accent. And it was actually a little bit sad that he thought that was going to work. And it was even sadder that she fell for it. Well, his accent sounds genuine. It's as Texan as New England clam chowder. Well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. Eric says, I think your idea of adding a sixth night to the Great Detectives is a great idea. Adding a police procedural should only complement the work you're doing with the Great Detectives, and consolidation of the two podcasts should only encourage and develop a larger audience. Thanks for the hard work and sometimes perseverance to provide great entertainment. Please look for my continued support during your listener campaign, and it's from Eric up in New Brunswick, Canada. Well, thanks so much for your kind note and support, Eric. Now we turn to some comments. Actually, I've kind of grouped them together because they take us back a little bit. First, we go to Facebook, where Richard says, just happened to read the reviews on iTunes. Fantastic job, Adam. Is Andrew still editing the sound for these shows? Your hard work and passion are appreciated by all. Cheers from Canada, Rick. Andrew is still on the job. And you can support Andrew over at his podcast, otrwesterns.com. And they're continuing to do a good job, particularly on Johnny Dollar, because we have some issues sometimes with the source files on these. So he's got to work them a little bit more than some of the other shows. Now, Kerry sends in Kerry. Sends in some questions from Iowa, interesting ones. Says, and they talk about some prior shows. I just wanted to let you know that I recently found your podcast and have been enjoying them a lot, especially during my numerous road trips this year. So far, I've been listening to Sherlock Holmes, Dragnet, and Pat Novak. I have a comment and question. Is the Pat Novak show Fleet Lady? I thought I recognized two voices as recurring characters in the Dragnet 1967 TV series. Sure enough, two names mentioned in the credits were Virginia Gregg and Stacey Harris, who, in fact, were often in the Dragnet TV show. I think I heard Stacey Harris in a later Pat Novak show, but no credits were given there. That would probably have been an Armed Forces Radio Service version of Pat Novak. And the Armed Forces Radio Services, they often took out parts of the program, particularly in credits. So that may have been an AFRS episode. Finally, Frank Graham was a radio actor. By any chance, are you related to him? Probably not, since he committed suicide at age 35, and I don't think he ever married or had children. But I perhaps thought that might have contributed to your interest in old radio shows. Well, thanks for the question, Carrie. My answer is not as far as I know, at least not very closely. I think if you got the last name, there's probably a good chance we had some common Scottish ancestor way back when, over the centuries, but not specifically. And by the way, if you've not listened already, with Frank Graham, we have all the episodes he did on the Jeff Regan show, at least all those that are in circulation. You can go to archives.greatdetectives.net. I believe we have 13 or 12 Frank Graham episodes. Finally, we have this comment from Podcast Alley. Once I got caught up with the daily podcast on Great Detectives and finished listening to all the Dragnet podcasts, I went back and started listening to the shows that had finished their run before I found this podcast. I finished Box 13 during a long trip to Omaha, and am now listening to the beginning of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. I find that I do not enjoy these earlier Dollar shows nearly as much. They were way more tongue-in-cheek, slapstick almost humor. I guess kind of like today's episode. Adam, your commentaries have grown on me too. I find myself learning something new almost every show, although I'm glad you cut the time that you talked down a wee bit from way back then. Thanks for sharing your time and talent. Well, thanks for your comment, Simon. I will say this, that I have kind of rolled with the punches on the all of the Johnny Dollar actors. Each one brought kind of their own interpretation, and I found myself, after listening to it, that I liked kind of their own unique take. Charles Russell, certainly much more tongue-in-cheek, written by writers who'd written on the Sam Spade program. And Edmund O'Brien's very dark and noirish. I will say Russell almost got got a little too silly. One where he did a Wolfman Jack routine. That may have been a little much, but I know that everyone's got their preferences. And even John Lund, who often when I have read about the Lund run of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, we're told, it's kind of a boring run. And in some ways it's not as exciting, but Lund does bring something. A little more warmth than we had during the O'Brien era. And if there's a limitation here, it's probably more due to the writing than to the acting. But thank you so much for your comment. All right, well, that will actually do it for now. Join us tomorrow when we will be bringing you a episode of the Father Brown Mysteries from the Colonial Radio Theater with J.T. Turner starred, our first time playing any sort of modern radio drama, and again, with full permission, blessing, and support of the Colonial Radio Theater, so we appreciate that. And then on Monday, join us back here for the Adventures of Frank Race, and on Friday for another episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. Next week, we're going to have details about what our next season, which starts the last week of October, is going to look like, and the new shows we're going to be adding. If you're a fan of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, you want to listen closely to our after-show commentary on Monday. And since I'm not really a Texas oil millionaire, I do encourage you to go to support.greatdetectives.net, and you can support the show there. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives, and be sure and fill out our listener survey, survey.greatdetectives.net. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham.